The Legacy Sports Network presents Houston area high school basketball. Brought to you by Texan Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram GMC Buick. We hear you. Also brought to you by Mr. Gaddy's Pizza, the best pizza in town. Honest. United Community Credit Union. Be united. Quick Assist. We sell your tickets fast and at the best price. Mr. Electric. We've got the power to make things better. And by the Alanis Real Estate Group. We are real estate. Now, let's go to the basketball gym.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Phillips Fieldhouse here in Pasadena, Texas for an epic UIL Class 6A Division I Region 3 semifinal showdown in boys high school playoff basketball. This is playoff intensity at its finest. Two Houston area powerhouses battling for a spot in the regional final and a dream run toward the state tournament in San Antonio. On one side, the North Shore Mustangs rolling in at 30-6, ranked number 20th in the state. And opposing them tonight is the Strake Jesuit Crusaders, led by their coach Dominic Amoroso, fighting in with the heart and hustle at 23-12. My name is Jeff Kemps. Alongside here tonight is my color analyst, Paul Sanchez. Paul, how you doing here this evening?
I'm good, and any young player growing up dreams about playing in the month of March, because whenever you play in March, it's pretty much meaningful basketball, and the spot in a regional final is on the line right here. It might not be the marquee matchup of the night in the region, but it's definitely going to be a good one. We've seen both of these teams in person. Both these teams match up pretty well, and we'll see how it goes in the next 7.5 minutes.
When Paul and I come right back here, we're going to have some interviews from the head coaches of the North Shore Mustangs and the Strake Jesuit Crusaders. We'll be back right here for playoff basketball on the pregame show on the Legacy Sports Network. Joined with the coach of the North Shore Mustangs, Coach Robert Woods. Coach, how you feeling here this evening for this game?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
Doing well, doing well. So how's your team's attitude coming into this game here tonight in the semifinal?
I think we're playing with confidence. We're reaching our stride. I told them they have to stay locked in. Don't be looking at the internet and believing everything that they read. I know going into this game, Strake Jesuit is not the favorite, but what I told my guys is they're good. This is the Sweet 16. So everyone that's at this point in this game, this point of the season is good. And they don't necessarily have to be the better team. They just got to be better one night. So I'm trying to keep them locked in. They're loose, but we had 2 good days of practice, so we'll see.
So I've noticed your teams. We've been watching you in the second half of the season. Your third quarter action, you guys run faster. I saw another interview you did after the game last week as well, where you talked at halftime to run faster. Do you ever want to start a game faster than you do, or do you always want to try to do that in the second half?
It really is predicated on our opponent. I look, the past just 3 games in a row, we've played some really good point guards. And so my goal is to take the ball out their hands, but then I look at their supporting cast, and if they have other guys that can shoot it, then I don't necessarily want to trap as much because I don't want to give them open looks and give them confidence early. And then, playing Pearland, they had some guys that attack the rim pretty well. And I didn't want to give them, open lanes to do what they do. So it was one of those things where I was just filling the team out and see how they was going to play. Going down 6 at half and coming out, it's win or go home. So we might as well go ahead and give it a try. And it worked out. We was able to erase that 6-point lead and ended up winning the second half by 9 points total.
So Sean Mayberry struggled in that last game with 4 fouls. How was his mental attitude after that game, only scoring 2 points and not playing many minutes?
He's still confident. He's still well. We took a look at that game and saw how he committed his fouls and some of the things that he did he can't do. There's a big, you should never get a foul reaching. You should wall up. I like to say jump straight up, verticality, touch the roof. Make them shoot over you. If they make it shooting over you, great shot. Shake his hand and keep going. But we don't want to bail him out. And I thought a couple of times he bailed him out on a couple of the ball screens. He wasn't ready, and he ran out there out of control and ended up getting a blocking foul. So those are things that he has to control. He can, and I think he'll do it tonight.
Okay, so one of the things that was really impressive in the last game, you worked off almost a minute and 30 seconds passing the ball. Talk about your fundamentals in practicing with this team. That was incredibly impressive, the passing that you did there to wind the clock down against the Paradise.
And the thing I like about that is, we have a play, it's motion, and we can score out of it, or we can just keep the ball moving because everyone is moving. And the guys understand that, Coach Ward, the gentleman, older gentleman that comes and volunteers and helps out, he always in practice, he's always yelling, don't let the trap set. So if they're coming at you, don't wait till they get to you to pass the ball. Pass it before they get to you, when you still have space. So I thought we did a good job with that last game towards the end when we needed to. I thought we, the guys that we wanted to get fouled to go to the free throw line, they did a good job of holding on to the ball so they can get fouled. And they did a good job of making their free throws down the stretch. So one thing about this team, they're very unselfish. They want to win. They understand what it takes to win. And so they sacrifice themselves for the team. And that's what another thing that makes this team great to coach.
My last three questions for you. How's Sam Walker's ankle after the last game injury?
I say he's about 75% now. He can still get up and dunk, so he's okay. This game is going to have a nice crowd, so adrenaline will be flowing. So I think he'll be totally fine.
One of the reasons you guys have won these last couple of games is your free throws at the free throw line. In this last game, last week, you have 15 of 19 from the free throw line. Pretty impressive. You're in these last two matchups, you guys have scored 27 of 35 from the free throw line, shooting 77%. Practice free throws quite often?
Yes, that's one of the things we do at the end of practice and in the middle of practice. When they get water breaks, they have to make free throws to go get water. And I try to put them in situations where they're running. We just don't go to the free throw line and shoot. We run, then they have to shoot. Run, and then they have to shoot because that's game life. And I think that's, again, Coach Ward. He always tells us, in playoff games, it's going to come down to shooting free throws. Got to be able to make free throws. And he has a saying, one to tie, one to win. And that's the mentality that we go with when we go to the free throw line. I put them in pressure situations so that when they get in games, their mind says, we've done this before. I always say anything that you're doing this in your life, it all originates and starts in your head. So if you've been there before and you tell yourself, relax, I've done this before, you'll be calm when you go to the free throw line in those pressure situations. And so far, so good.
Very good. Okay, so you got three guys that handed you a piece of paper. Gibson's giving you 44% for your team, where DeMarcus Sloan is giving you 20% and Colbert's giving you 20+4%. How are you going to get the other players involved in this game tonight?
I think if we get out in transition early, I think everybody can contribute to the scoring. I'm going to run some stuff early on to try to get Sean going. And we're going to try to get out in transition. That's going to be the main thing. I think we have the depth over Strake Jesuit. We want them to go to their bench. So we're going to try to push the issue.
Very good. Very good. Coach, good luck tonight.
Thanks for
joining us here on the Legacy Pregame Show. More coming up right up. Welcome back to the Legacy Sports Radio Network. We are here with Coach Dominic Amoroso. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Very good. The coach of the Strake Jesuit Crusaders. Tell us about your team, Coach.
We got a good group. We're led by a junior point guard. We play another sophomore a lot of minutes. We have 5 seniors who've been great leaders and have really showed sort of kind of our young guys the path to working hard. And we've had an up and down district play. We had some injuries. Finished 7-5 in our league, but got a chance to get hot in the playoffs, and we've had a good week.
So I made it to the second half of your game the other night against Cy-Fair. TDL, definitely a good presence I saw in the paint in that game. And then I saw how you say his last name? Is it Vong?
Vong.
Shooting from the outside. What's your strategy for your team? Are you an inside scoring team or an outside scoring team?
We want to play from the inside out. We shoot a pretty good number of threes, but we want them to be paint touch threes as much as possible. And then if we can score inside off offensive rebounds and drive and kick, we'll take it. But I would say we're pretty balanced. We score at the rim and then we score at 3. We don't score a ton in the mid range, but we'll back you down and try to score inside. And then if you double down or turn your head, we'll bang a 3 on you.
So, what's been your success to make it here to the semifinals for your team here in these first two games?
Justin Thomas, number 4, makes us go. He missed the second half of district play with an injury, but he's been huge. He makes everybody else better. Vong's been very good in the playoffs. Peyton George, another junior, has been very good. And then we've had consistent production from the young guy Tucker Shannon and our 2 seniors who play a lot, Theron Dutton Lewis and Alex Hughes. So it's been a total team effort. We play extremely hard, and I think that gives you a chance in every game. And you knock down a few shots in the playoffs, and you can get out of there with a win.
How's your team's attitude coming into this game tonight? Loose?
Yeah, I think we're loose. I mean, it's one of those deals where I don't think anybody expected us to be here. I think North Shore, 30 wins and a high major Division I player, and we're just a bunch of guys that compete really hard, and the pressure's on them. We're going to have to keep them off the boards and take care of the basketball, but I think we're pretty loose. And again, some of that's because we're young. We're going to play tonight 8 or 9 guys, and only 2 of them are seniors. So it's a great opportunity for us to see how we compete against one of the state's best.
That's awesome. Very good. Anything else? Final words you'd like to say about?
No, just looking forward to it. We got to host 2 games at home. One because of Katie and A-Leaf decided that the higher seed would host, and the other one we won a coin flip. And so tonight's an opportunity for us, like I said, go up against one of the state's best teams and coaches and players, and see where we stand. So I'm really looking forward to it.
You have a great home field advantage there with your students there behind
It was a lot of fun. Friday night basketball at Strake Jesuit was really cool. And I tried to get Coach Woods to flip us home and home, but he thought an arena would be better for the size of his crowd and our crowd, so we decided on here in Phillips. So it's been good.
Very good. Coach, thanks for being
Thank
here.
you. Appreciate it.
We'll be back.
DeRoche Partners, LLP, located in Houston and Dallas, offers a complete range of tax assurance and consulting services to a diverse portfolio of clients. Their team is dedicated to the highest ethics of our profession with a commitment to excellence. This is accomplished by putting an emphasis on providing superior professional services specifically tailored to meet the needs of our clients. DeRoche Partners aim to provide valuable insight, effective solutions, and maintain long-lasting business relationships. Their high recruiting standards and culture of excellence is uncommon and unrivaled. They want to wish all the student athletes good luck. Visit DeRoche Partners on the web at dpllp.cpa.
Welcome back here to the Phillips Fieldhouse, where the starting lineups are about to be announced here tonight. Paul, give me your thoughts here for tonight's action.
Well, you heard from both coaches. Great thoughts on either side. I was really compelled by Coach Woods talking about his team's composure in the playoffs so far, where you got to remember, these are young guys. This is their first playoff experience. And, for young guys, you look ahead of the schedule and everybody, and now it's shaping up to be a potential rematch with the Atascocita if they're able to win this game tonight. But they've kept it one game at a time. You have to do that. You have to respect your opponent. He knows that this is the Sweet 16 right now. Each team that is left is a good team, and Strake Jesuit is a good team. And you heard Coach Emarosa talk about their youth on that side as well. They're exceeding expectations in this playoff run. We got to see them Friday night against Cy-Fair. They draw such a great crowd, and they brought that crowd behind us here tonight. So looking at this game, is it going to come down to North Shore's physicality versus the inexperience of Strake? Obviously, Strake has smaller guards compared to the size and athleticism that North Shore presents to him. And coming from a district where you're facing Atascocita, Summer Creek, Humboldt on a nightly basis, you can use that to your advantage against a team that really isn't used to this size and athleticism. So for Strake, they're just going to have to play a really clean game tonight. I mean, you got to just look at these guards. He talked about it. Justin Thomas, Jr., 6'1". I was really impressed with Tucker Shannon. I think we're going to be talking about him a lot. These are just headsy guards that are going to have to game manage tonight. They're going to have to be really clean, mistake-free basketball tonight to really execute. And it honestly has to be their best game of the season. I mean, just to be frank with you, in order to upset North Shore tonight, they have to be on their P's and Q's. And I think they can do it. They're very smart. They have high IQ players. It's just ability whether they can instead playing in and out, paint touch threes, and knocking down their shots.
The starting lineups are being announced here tonight for both teams. For the North Shore Mustangs, we're going to have a little bit of a different lineup tonight, Paul, than we've seen all season. DeMarcus Sloan, the junior, 6 foot. The sophomore, Rashad Williams, 6'1". The junior, 6'7", Sean Mayberry. And the 6'6" senior, Christian Gibson. The new starter here tonight, Paul, is the junior 6-footer Darian Moore for the North Shore Mustangs. For the Strake Jesuit Crusaders, sophomore 6 foot Tucker Shannon. we're ready to go. Well, I'll add Justin Thomas, Evan Vong, Peyton George, and Thrawn Dutton Lewis. We're ready to tip off here tonight from the Phillips Fieldhouse. Sean Mayberry jumping against Peyton George. And to give some numbers here tonight, the Atascocita Eagles into the third quarter are leading the Seven Lakes Spartans 52-47. The winner of that game will play the winner of this game here this evening. Paul, we got a good crowd here tonight here at the Phillips Fieldhouse.
I mean, we were there for the Strake Jesuit game, and obviously their crowd shows up in numbers home and away. They have a good contingency. They're loud here tonight, but North Shore, it's on the east side. They're going to show up as well. Both teams know that they have a chance to get to a regional final. You mentioned that score with the Atascocita and Seven Lakes. Doesn't surprise me right there. Obviously, it came down to the health of Niles Price. We'll see if it factors in the fourth quarter whenever we get those updates, but this is a game where North Shore can't take their opponent lightly. They have to have their foot on the neck at all times.
North Shore wearing all red tonight, and the Strake Jesuit Crusaders wearing white. North Shore going from left to right, Strake Jesuit going from right to left. Thanks for joining us here on the regional semifinals, Class 6A, Region 3, Division 1 basketball game here tonight. And Sean Mayberry gets his tip, and we get to Rashad Williams. He's coming from the backcourt.
Yeah, I want to see what Coach Woods was talking about, getting Sean Mayberry involved early. He's been in foul trouble, but in that first set against Pearland, they had a really good play for him. Woo.
Wow, look at that nice pass down low there, Paul, to DeMarcus Sloan to put the first 2 points on the board for the Mustangs. So here comes the Strake Jesuit. Tucker Shannon coming across the backcourt. Over to Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas being guarded here by Sloan. Over to the right corner to Tucker Shannon, back to Justin Thomas. Thomas being guarded by Rashad Williams. Loses the ball. Is still going to be Crusader ball.
And on Friday night, Jeff, we saw that Shannon and Thomas were having their will with the Cy-Fair guards, just turning the corners, getting on the baseline. It's going to be a different task tonight whenever you're going up against Rashad Williams and DeMarcus Sloan. It's going to be really important to set that tone in the first half. They still have those dribble drives like Coach Amarosa was talking about.
Tucker Shannon's got the ball on the left side. Being guarded here by Sloan. Mayberry comes out. Here's TDL over to the left side. This is Peyton George in the left corner pocket being guarded by Gibson, trying to drive on the baseline. He picks up the dribble, shoots out to Vaughn. Vaughn wanted to shoot a three, but Sloan came and stopped them quickly. Here's Shannon in the lane. Over to the right corner. Here is Thomas for three. No good. And here comes the North Shore Mustangs. Christian Gibson on the right side, cruising down the line. He's going coast to coast, up and puts it up and in and gets fouled.
And it's really going to come down to that. I don't think Strake Jesuit has anybody that can stop and get in front of Christian Gibson, especially in transition. He has such size compared to the smaller guards and wings compared to Strake Jesuit. And that's just tough and one that he gets through the contact, will go to the line.
So Christian Gibson going to the line. He is shooting here in the playoffs 77% from the free throw line, and he puts the first free throw down. So North Shore up 5-0 here to start off. Under 7 minutes left to play here in the first quarter. This is Justin Thomas bringing it across the backcourt, gives it over to Tucker Shannon. Finally comes across the timeline. Being guarded by Sloan. 3 guys come out on him. Back out to TDL on the left side. TDL over to the left side to George. Back out to Thomas. Thomas far out on the left wing. Trying to drive on Colbert. Colbert's got long reach, good reach by Colbert. Here's Shannon driving, stopping in the lane. Stolen by Rashad Williams. Here comes Rashad Williams. Down the left side, over to Sloan. Sloan on the left side, nice move. Over to the right side, here's Williams for three. Oh, can't make it. And here comes Strake Jesuit. Down the court quickly. This is George in the lane. Nice pass, can't get it. Here comes Gibson and North Shore. Coming back down on the left side quickly. Being guarded here by George. Nice pass, over to Rashad Williams. Back to Colbert. Colbert for three. Bounces around, can't go in. Here comes Strake Jesuit coming back down the timeline. This is Justin Thomas, loses the ball. Here's George, off to Rashad Williams. He's going to put it off the glass and put it up and in.
Yeah, a couple quick turnovers by the Strake Jesuit guards are going to lead to a timeout by Coach Amarosa. 7-0 to start for the North Shore Mustangs.
Let's stay right here for a second, Paul. So 7-0 quickly. What have you seen here so far? You made the comment coming into this game that this is going to be a tough game for Strake with this length and speed of North Shore.
Well, they have really good guards. I liked Justin Thomas and Tucker Shannon. We saw them Friday night and how they were going at the Cy-Fair guards. They really weren't scared getting into the paint, taking body contact, and going along the baseline as well. But quick 2 turnovers on both of those guards, and you get off to a 7-0 start for the North Shore Mustangs. It's going to be hard to kind of get into tracking with them. And they struggle scoring on Friday against the Bobcats. They can't struggle scoring tonight against North Shore. That can put you in these runs of double digits or more and just really put the game out of reach for you. So you have to be clean with the ball. We talked about it. These guards, they're inexperienced, but they're still made for the moment. In the first 2.5 minutes, they've coughed up the ball, and that's what's led to this start.
So Dominic Amorosa, the coach of the Crusaders, takes a quick timeout just to calm his team down. Playing here in the regional semifinals here tonight against North Shore. So they're going from right to left on the radio dial. 5:42 left to play here in the first quarter. North Shore with the lead, 7-0. Here's Thomas. He's in the backcourt, runs into the referee. They're struggling. They're going to run out of time. Rashad Williams backs it off his hand. Down to George on the left side. George trying to drive in the lane. Stops. Mayberry's got him right there. Mayberry blocks it. Here come North Shore coming down the court quickly. Gibson at the top of the key. He's driving. He's in the lane. He puts a shot off the left hand, off the glass, and good.
Too easy. And this was one of my things coming into this game. We saw Cy Fair give up a press, really confuse a lot of the guards, and it's going to be really tough for these Strake Jesuit guards tonight compared to the size of these wings that North Shore has. Just get him out of rhythm and make him feel uncomfortable.
And the ball is going to be out of bounds. Still going to be Crusader ball with 5 minutes left to play here in the first quarter. 9-0. Christian Gibson for the North Shore Mustangs already with 5 of the 9 points. Coming in for the Crusaders, a couple substitutions. Coming in is Caden Payton, going to replace TDL, and also Alex Hughes going to replace Evan Vaughn. Trying to get it out to Evan Vaughn, and Rashad Williams is going to get called for the foul. So different lineup here tonight, Paul. What do you thought about Darian Moore starting here tonight? Nope. Inbound of the ball, Crusaders right in front of the North Shore bench. 9-0. North Shore with the lead. Gives off to Hughes. Hughes back to Thomas. Thomas way out. Being guarded by Sloan. Over to the left side. This is going to be a three. No good. Rebound by Hughes.
And Hughes brings height off the bench. That 6'7" over that 6'6" Mayberry. Mayberry caught holding about in the block. That extra opportunity will be awarded to the Strake Jesuit Crusaders. But Crusaders, they've had a couple of open looks. They have to be able to knock down on those, especially down 9 already.
So here's Strake Jesuit in the sidelines. Ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. Still North Shore ball, or Crusader ball. Thomas going to inbound the ball right in front of the North Shore bench. Gives it out to Hughes. Back to Thomas. Thomas on the right wing, being guarded by Sloan and Gibson. Now on the left side. Pass it out, loses it. Mayberry's got it.
And that's one of the things tonight. This team runs a lot of ball screens, and my thing with North Shore, were they going to be able to communicate on the defensive end? They just had hard hedges and been double teaming.
Here's Gibson backing down to fades away shot, can't make it. Here comes the Crusaders, down 11-0 off the right corner pocket. Here's a three by George, no good. Get their own rebound back. Thomas driving. Ball gets knocked out of his hands. Gibson with a baseball pass down the court to Sloan. Sloan for three. In and out, no good. Here come the Crusaders down the court. This is George in the lane, blocked by Colbert.
Yeah, that would have been there in the Cy Fair game. You just blow through Sean Mayberry, but then on the recovery, Dylan Colbert's there to get that out of there. That would have been an easy finish for him Friday night, but it's a different animal when you're going against this squad.
So Evan Vong and TDL come back in the game for the Crusaders. Sean Mayberry is going to take a break for the North Shore Mustangs. Sam Walker comes into the game for him. Here's Evan Vong for a long three. Can't make it. And the ball's rebounded by the Crusaders. Back out to Thomas. Thomas on the right wing. Far out. Being guarded here by Sloan. Looking for a screen. Going on the right side. Going to shoot a fadeaway shot. And it goes in.
It's a tough shot by Thomas, finally taking the lid off with that nice sidestep.
Here's Rashad Williams. He's driving. Throws it all the way out to Sloan, to Colbert. Colbert for three. Good.
Yeah, that looked good. Good extra pass from Sloan in the corner, hitting at that 45 for Colbert. Feet were set. He rose on that one compared to Thursday night where he was a little bit more flat. First three on the night.
North Shore 14. And the Crusaders 2. Here's Vong on the left wing. He's driving in the lane. Pass it off to Hughes, blocked by Gibson. TDL gets the rebound back. Back out to Hughes. Nope, no good. Hughes can't make it up. And finally, Vong puts it up and in.
Yeah, fourth chance opportunities. They've been controlling the offensive glass. That's the only knock you can give the Mustangs so far. Mayberry or Walker haven't been able to clean it up or finish possessions.
So here comes North Shore. Sloan driving on the left side, puts it off the glass, can't make it in. And it's going to still be North Shore ball. So the score is 12-4. North Shore with the lead here. 2:38 left to play here in the first quarter. Crusaders going to inbound the ball underneath their basket on the right side. 2:38 left to play here in the first quarter. Thomas trying to inbound the ball. Gets it to Shannon. Shannon being guarded here by Joshua Richardson, who's coming to the game for the North Shore Mustangs. Coming across the timeline. Gives it off to Hughes. Hughes back to Shannon. Shannon over the left side. Here's Thomas for three. Can't make it. Rebound, North Shore. Coming back down, this is Gibson on the left side. He's going to shoot a 10-footer. Can't make it. Rebound by Colbert. Puts it up and in.
Yeah, who else, Jeff? He's always there at the right time, getting up on that second chance. Transition, stop Gibson, but then Colbert there, 10-foot out, puts up the floater.
Here's Evan Vaughn in the right corner pocket for three. Good.
Finally able to get one to go from deep, and that's one of their best sharpshooters from outside. Evan Wong has got to be able to hit that open shot.
North Shore 14, Crusaders 7. Here's Sloan for a long three, short. And it's going to be Crusader ball with 1:47 left to play here in the first quarter. Coming in the game for the Crusaders is Jet Shore. Going to replace Alex Hughes. Justin Thomas going to inbound the ball right in the left corner pocket on the baseline. Gets it out here to TDL. Back out to Thomas. Thomas in the backcourt being guarded by Joshua Richardson. Coming across the timeline quickly. 14-7, North Shore with the lead. TDL has the ball on the left wing. Gives out to Shannon. Shannon at the top of the key being guarded by Gibson. Shannon gives it off back. Here's Thomas on the left wing. He's driving. Steps back, shoots, in and out. And we're going to have a foul on Walker.
Yeah, once again, the high active hands from the Crusaders are keeping points alive on this end. A couple of second chance opportunities. 4 points on the night so far, and we'll get 2 at the line for Jet Shore. But that's got to be one thing. We talked about it. Mayberry and Walker, can they play without fouling? We've seen them not be able to get any rhythm in these playoffs. Either there's been injuries or just playing in foul trouble. On the offensive and defensive end, you need to be able to just box out, find your man, and just secure the possession.
So Jet Shore, the senior, 6'4", going to go to the line to shoot. North Shore leading 14-7, 1:22 left to play here in the quarter. Referees at the scoring bench having a conversation with the timekeeper or the scorekeeper. North Shore shooting 50% from the field here in the first quarter, 6 of 12. The Crusaders 3 of 13 for only 23%. They're 1 of 6 from the three-point lane. The Crusaders are 17%, and North Shore only 1 of 5 for 20%. Still having a conversation here now with Coach Woods and Coach Amorosa with the official. So the leading scorers here so far for the North Shore Mustangs, Dylan Colbert and Christian Gibson, both with 5. And for the Strake Jesuit Crusaders, Evan Vaughn, he's got 5 points for them tonight as well. He's got 5 of the 7 points for the Crusaders.
And in your interview pregame, you were talking about how the usage rate for your top 3 with Colbert, Sloan, and Gibson is above 80% of the scoring production in the playoffs. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, there's questions on the back end whether you want production coming off the bench or from other starters. But if you have a reliable 3-headed monster that has given you over 50 points this playoffs combined throughout the first 2 games, I mean, you'll take that if you're Coach Woods, and you're just looking for that extra punch from a guy like Rashad Williams. He went on a very important 4-0 run to start the second half against Pearland. Seen a couple of plays by Walker in that Pearland game as well, but it's what else can you get? And this is a kind of game where you can just get rhythm for other guys. There's plug-and-play guys that he's already brought off the bench here in the first quarter. So this is one of those games where you just start to see who you could put out there in the potential game against Atascocita or Seven Lakes in the next round.
Jeremiah Thomas coming in for Dylan Colbert. Jet Shore misses the first free throw. Here's the second free throw up, and he misses them both.
Yeah, we saw that Friday night. They were really bad at the line, and especially in this game, you got to capitalize on those.
So North Shore bringing the ball across the timeline. 1:14 left to play. North Shore lead 14-7. Over to Richardson on the right side. Richardson holding the ball far out, being guarded by Evan Vaughn. Over to DeMarcus Sloan in between the two circles. Back over to Richardson now on the left side. Back to Sloan, just passing the ball around. Under a minute left to play. Sloan for an amazingly long three, can't make it. Rebound by Evan Vaughn of the Crusaders. North Shore leading 14-7. They've been quiet here for a few minutes. Thomas bouncing it into TDL. TDL's driving, left hand up, can't make it. Here comes North Shore down the court. 37 seconds left to play. Gibson on the right side. Back to Sloan. Off to Jeremiah Thomas on the left wing. 30 seconds left in the quarter. Robert Woods, the coach, telling him what the play call here is. Joshua Richardson to Sloan. Or to Thomas. Thomas to Richardson. Richardson on the left side. Down to Walker. Walker's trying to drive. He puts a right hand hook shot up. Can't make it.
He could have taken that a little bit more deeper right there.
Here's Thomas. 12 seconds left to play in the quarter. 14-7. 7 seconds on the clock. He's at the top of the key. He's trying to drive on Sloan. Steps back, shoots, no good. And rebound by Gibson. And he's going to just throw a heave up and no good. And that is the end of the first quarter with the North Shore Mustangs leading 14 to the Strake Jesuit 7. We'll be back right here on the Legacy Sports Network.
Legacy Sports Network, now celebrating 18 years of broadcasting excellence. We are your home for local high school sports coverage. Expect excellent audio and video production. Whether you're listening at home or at the game, find us at lsnsports.com. Legacy Sports Network, building a legacy one game at a time.
Start of the second quarter here, Paul. North Shore 14, so Strake Jesuit Crusaders 7. North Shore has kind of been a little bit taking some, I would say, careless shots. Would you not say here too, Paul?
Well, it's been a little bit of a lull for both sides. Not really good shooting numbers, 3 for 15, 6 for 14 respectively. And this was the kind of game where North Shore, you've got to capitalize in transition. We've seen that so far. They're hit or miss from the three-point line. Obviously, they'll take those shots because they want to put up shots for opportunities for second chance points. And, you know, Coach Amorosa talked about it for Strake Jesuit. They're not particularly a three-point shooting team. They want to play inside out. That just depends on the mid-range game of Justin Thomas and if they can get and hit their pick and rolls and roll into the basket. But they're 1 for 6. Your sharpshooter, Evan Wong, is 1 for 3 on the night. He needs to keep shooting those shots. Those are the only way you're going to get back into this game. But it's still, I mean, it's only a 3-possession ball game for the Crusaders. They're not out of it in any means or stretch by far. So just clearing up a couple of possessions together on the offensive end. They've completed a few stops on the North Shore Mustangs end. They've ran a couple of different sets, just haven't been able to knock down their shots.
Coach Dominic Amorosa there said in the pregame show, the pressure is all on North Shore here tonight. Strake Jesuit, we're driving on the right side. This is TDL. He's in the lane, puts it up and in.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen him try to make a defender test him dribbling off of him, and Walker susceptible to that, kind of playing a little bit more of a gamble move on that, takes advantage of him and goes over the right shoulder.
North Shore with the ball. Jeremiah Thomas, Joshua Richardson, Christian Gibson, Sam Walker, and DeMarcus Sloan. Nice pass to Sloan down on the right side. Pass out to Gibson. Gibson steps back for a three. Can't make it. Walker tries to get the rebound, but can't do it. So North Shore 14, Crusaders 9, coming into the game for the North Shore Mustangs. Rashad Williams, Dylan Colbert, and Sean Mayberry going to replace Joshua Richardson, Jeremiah Thomas, and Sam Walker. So this is a starting 5 for the North Shore Mustangs back in the game here to start the second quarter.
And TDL can bring the ball up the court. Now he's going to be matched on to Mayberry, see if he can test him off the dribble, but it's going to come down to Justin Thomas, whether he can make one-on-one individual plays as well.
TDL, 6'4" senior here tonight. Here's George off to the left side. Here's Vaughn driving on the baseline. Gibson blocks it. Nice job there by Gibson. Vaughn tried to put it up. Mayberry blocks it. Back out to Thomas.
And again, I don't think they're used to this second recovery and these block attempts on the season so far. Man.
But Vaughn puts down a 3, and they're down by 2. 14-12, North Shore with the lead.
That's what Vaughn is in there in the game for, hitting the long ball, cannon it from deep, second one on the night. 2-point ball game now.
Here's Rashad Williams being guarded tightly by Thomas. He stops, picks up the dribble. Off to Colbert, over left side to Sloan. Sloan puts a running shot up, and he's going to get fouled.
And you like it, though, from Sloan. He's putting the ball on the deck a little bit more and more, known as a three-point shooter. He's been afraid at the past couple of games to put it on the floor, and now we'll get to the line for two for trying to get back on the scoreboard early since the first quarter.
So the foul is on Evan Vaughn, his second foul of the night. DeMarcus Sloan going to go to the line to shoot. He's a 75% free throw shooter. Here in the playoffs, he has not missed a free throw yet and makes his first one as well. Juan Escobar coming into the game for Evan Vaughn. Evan Vaughn is the leading scorer tonight for the Crusaders. He got 8 of the 12 points here so far. Here's the second free throw by Sloan and bounces around and goes in. North Shore 16, Crusaders 12. 6:30 left to play here in the second quarter. Here comes Thomas being guarded by Rashad Williams in the backcourt. Throws it over to TDL on the right side. TDL driving on Mayberry, backing down Mayberry, still backing him down, puts the left hand up and goes in.
And he likes backing down, hit his defender and getting over that right shoulder. Second time tonight he's gone into that 10-foot area, gone over his defender, and it's just been a nice touch around the rim.
16-14, North Shore with the lead. 6 minutes left to play. Sloan on the left side. Gibson, he's driving on the left side, puts it off the glass, can't make it. Rebound by Gibson and by foul.
Surprising he missed the first one. I think he was anticipating the body contact underneath and it just affected his shot, but that second jump of his is better than a lot of people's first jump. He gets that, and we'll go to the line for two now.
So Gibson's going to go to the line to shoot. Free throw. Gibson is an 82% free throw shooter on the season. Puts the first one up and in. Foul was on TDL, his first foul of the game. Here's the second free throw by Gibson. Good.
And now we've seen a switch on the defensive side. It was DeMarcus Sloan guarding Justin Thomas. Now they decided to put the sophomore Rashad Williams on here. Justin Thomas was feeling a little bit more comfortable. He had a couple of pull-up mid-range shots that he easily elevated over Sloan, but now getting a little bit more physical defender face guarding him is Rashad Williams.
Here's Escobar. He's driving on the left side. Puts a right hand off the left side. Can't make it up and in. Here comes Rashad Williams on the left side. Stops, picks up the dribble. Gives off to Gibson on the right wing.
Oh, they got to feed Mayberry.
Gibson. And they're going to call. Looks like they're going to call a foul there, Paul, on Tucker Shannon.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. Tucker Shannon was just pleading for his case right there. He was clearing out space, was Mayberry, maybe a little bit up above in the head and neck area. But that would have been an easy turnover as Christian Gibson dribbled it off of his foot. He didn't look up and see that he had a smaller defender on Mayberry at the low post. Fortunate for the Mustangs.
Mustangs going to inbound the ball, leading 18-14. News for us here tonight. 1 minute remaining in the Atascocita 7 Lakes game. Atascocita 69, 7 Lakes 60. Fourth quarter action. Here's Sloan on the right wing. Out to Rashad Williams in between the two circles. Being guarded by Justin Thomas. Dribble with the left hand. Looking for a play call. Gives it to Mayberry. Mayberry down low. Mayberry puts the right hand up. Short. Can't make it. Here come the Crusaders. Coming down the court. Justin Thomas. Being guarded by Colbert. Now being guarded by Sloan. Thomas making a play call. On the right side. Nice drive. Down to George and puts it up and in.
That's what the Crusaders offense does you. That dribble drive, making that off-ball movement really tough to defend. Not a lot of communication and just cutting in the middle of the lane, getting up.
North Shore 18, Crusaders 16. Gibson trying to drive on TDL or the left side to Rashad Williams. He's on the baseline. Throws it out to Sloan. Sloan for a three from the right wing. Oh, can't get it. But Colbert gets the rebound to keep it going. And Gibson's got it. He's driving. Puts the left hand up. Oh, he can't make it easy. Mayberry puts it up. He gets fouled and puts it down.
There was a lot of fouls on that play, but they called the foul late at the end after Mayberry got the offensive board, putting it back up, and will get his first points at the line. First points of the night. Will go to chance for three at the line right now. Mayberry a little bit more involved tonight. You talked about that, Jeff. His involvement, and everybody says your best ability is your availability. He has to be on the floor at all times. Obviously, him and Walker are a great duo down in the front court, but he has such an impact when he is involved offensively, running the break and getting on the offensive glass as well.
Gibson is a junior, 6'7", 66% free throw shooter on the season. Going to go to the line for the first time here in the playoffs here this season. Here's his free throw. Nice free throw attempt and makes it in. Makes it 21-16. North Shore with the lead. 4:30 left to play.
Yeah, now on this end, there's been a couple switches, which has led Rashad Williams off of guarding Justin Thomas. There needs to be communication, just going over the screen.
Alex Hughes back in the game for the Crusaders, gives it off to Thomas. Thomas looking for a screen by Cade Payton, who's in the game as well. Thomas, the junior, 5'11", trying to drive. He's going to shoot a three from the top of the key. Can't make it. Rebound by Hughes.
Yeah, he doesn't feel comfortable trying to back down Williams. That's why he decided to go for that 25-foot three. Second chance points off the long rebound, though.
Looking for a screen on Gibson. Now Sloan's on Thomas. Trying to drive on Sloan on the left side. Gibson gets in the way. Boy, what a nice rebound there by Payton, but gets swatted down. Here comes North Shore down the court. Mayberry
what
in
a
the lane,
move.
puts it up and in. Woo! What a shot there by Gibson.
Through traffic, spinning in the lane, getting on the right side. Mayberry, 5 on the night.
So here we come. We're coming back down the court. This is Thomas on the left side. Gives it off to Shannon. Shannon driving. And it's going to go out of bounds. Still going to be Crusader ball.
And those passing lanes and alleys aren't there tonight for the Crusaders. They're having a tough time even in the dribble drives, getting open shots. That's one thing that Shannon and Justin Thomas are going to have to be wary of. That pass that's usually there is not going to be there because of the length in those passing lanes. Have to make sure those passes are on time and in the shooter's pocket.
North Shore leading 23-16, 3:23 left to play. Crusaders bring in Evan Vong back in the game with 2 fouls, and also TDL is back in the game. He's got 4 points. Vong has 8 points here for the Crusaders. Gives off to George on the left side. Crusaders have the ball on the left wing. Back to TDL. Back to Thomas on the left side. Being guarded by Colbert. 3:16 left to play. North Shore 23, Crusaders 16. Thomas dribbling the ball between his legs. Gives off to TDL. Being guarded by Rashad Williams. Off to the left side here to Alex Hughes. Back to Thomas on the left wing. Being guarded now by Gibson. Over the left side to George. George being guarded by Mayberry. Off to Vong. Vong for 3. Can't make it. Rebound by TDL. Puts it up and goes in.
Yeah, he's a very unorthodox player. It's hard to account for him. He's a really positionless player that you could put out there at 6'4", is able to operate outside and gets a second chance opportunity with no box out.
TDL now with 6 points on the night. North Shore 23, Crusaders 18. Gibson or left side to Colbert. Colbert for 3. Short. Can't make it. Rebound by the Crusaders, but we're going to have a foul.
And a quick switch off of a made bucket. Going to a 2-3. They read it well. Getting into the middle was Gibson flashing, and then on the opposite side found Colbert just unable to knock that down and commits a foul right there.
So Rashad Williams picks up his 2nd foul of the night. Crusaders have the ball, going from right to left, wearing all white here tonight. 23 North Shore, Crusaders 18, 2:26 left to play here in the 2nd quarter. Thomas on the left side, looking for a screen by Hughes. Goes now to the right side, being guarded by Mayberry. Off to Vong. Vong for another 3. Can't make that one. Good rebound there by Alex Hughes, the 6'7" senior.
I mean, there's just no bodies on bodies. That's why they're getting all these extra chance points.
Thomas with another 3. Can't make that either. Here come the Mustangs down the left side. Williams in transition to Mayberry in the lane. Gets the ball knocked out of his hands by Vong.
The Mustangs have been very lucky. It's been Sloan on the defensive end who has lost track of Vong for a couple of deep threes that you usually have going in. He's hit 2 on the night. Got away with a couple of those, but they need to know and we're able to find and locate him on the half-court side.
We saw Vong the other night, Friday night against Cy-Fair. He was shooting 3s left and right there in the second half. 1:53 left to play here in the quarter. North Shore leading 23-18 over the Crusaders.
And this is a pivotal point right here where you can stretch the lead out if you're the Mustangs with 1:50 left.
Here's Gibson for a 3 from the top of the key. Can't make it.
And that's the thing right there. Strake Jesuit is putting bodies on bodies, making it just one-shot possessions. No, a lot of opportunities for second chance points for the Mustangs. That's a complete opposite on the other end. They're getting a lot of other looks off of nobody boxing out. There's really been a team effort on the boards. Really one thing Coach Amoroso was harping on his team to complete the possession by getting that defensive rebound. And that's what's kept him in this game. It's a 5-point game, and a lot of people would have expected to be a little bit more. Strake Jesuit, they're a good team. He talked about it. You can't just downgrade a team that's maybe not in your realm, and you got to respect him.
Here's George for a 3, and he puts it down.
That's what he was talking about. Dribble drive, get 1 foot in the paint, and find your shooter in the corner and knock it down.
Jorge Pacheco in the game for Rashad Williams, who picked up his 3rd foul.
That's big.
Pacheco in the game, the sophomore. Or left side to Sloan. North Shore 23, Crusaders 21. 1:10 left to play in the quarter. Gibson at the 3-point area. He's 0 for 2 so far in this game. tries to go along the baseline. The ball gets knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, North Shore's going to have to earn it tonight. It's not going to come easy. This Strake Jesuit squad there's a reason why they're in the third round of this matchup. They had to play Katy, and then they played a good Cy-Fair team. So they're battle tested in the playoffs, and they're feeling a lot of emotions right now coming back in this game.
Sloan's got it on the left side. He's driving in the lane on the right side. Puts the shot up. Can't make it. And the Crusaders they have an opportunity to tie the game here with under a minute left to play. North Shore 23, Crusaders 21. Thomas being guarded by Pacheco in between the two circles. Dribble with the left hand on the left wing now. Pacheco is on him tightly. Thomas trying to drive on him. He's in the lane. Pass out to George. George for three. Can't make it. Gibson with the rebound. Here comes Gibson cruising down the court quickly. And we have a pushing on the Crusaders.
And that's one of the ways that the Crusaders have been able to get back into this game, by getting offensive boards, and right there Christian Gibson finally able to secure a defensive rebound and run out in transition. That's what the Mustangs want to do. Now it puts him in the bonus. He'll get 2 at the line. We're getting accustomed to see him being a feature player at the line. That's got to be at least 6+ free throws a game so far in this postseason for Christian Gibson. He's adding on to that already in the first half.
TDL for the Crusaders picks up his second foul. Here's Gibson at the line to shoot. He makes that one. He's 4 for 4 tonight from the free throw line. Coming into the game for the Crusaders is Tucker Shannon replacing Alex Hughes. Christian Gibson here in the playoffs, 18 of 24 from the free throw line. Here's the second free throw, up and swish.
Yeah, and he's been nails in the fourth quarter, especially in that second half of both of the playoff games. He's been so clutch for this North Shore Mustang squad. No other person you would put that ball in the hands of.
North Shore 25, the Crusaders 21. 17 seconds left to play. Vaughn driving on the left side. He stops, picks up his dribble, and they're going to call a foul.
And that's not a bad foul right there, just dwindling down the clock, making sure you have a lot of fouls to give up before you go into the bonus. I'd even foul a couple more times. You have 2 more to give, or 1 more to give, excuse me, before it goes into the bonus right here. Make sure they don't get an easy look right here.
12 seconds remain here in the second quarter. Thomas going to inbound the ball on the left side. Gives it out to TDL. 10 seconds left in the quarter.
I'd foul if I'm Sloan right here.
5 seconds. Thomas far out. And Pacheco gets his hand on it and knocks the ball out of bounds. Still going to be Crusader ball here with 2 seconds left here in the second quarter.
I mean, these tip passes, even the smallest player on the court is getting a hand on these passes. Strake Jesuit guards need to know.
So Thomas going to inbound the ball right in front of the North Shore bench. 2 seconds remaining in the quarter. Gives it
Great
to Vaughn.
play.
Vaughn for a 3. Gets blocked by Mayberry. Great job by Mayberry.
Yeah, just a little wheel route coming off the double stagger screen. He had a wide open look for the 3. Recovery by Mayberry, blocking that, making sure they go into the halftime lead with 4.
And that is the end of the first half here at the Phillips Fieldhouse, where the North Shore Mustangs are leading 25 to the Strake Jesuit Crusaders 21. When Paul and I come back, we'll be back here for the halftime show on the Legacy Sports Network.
We've got the power to make things right. Mr. Electric will show you the light.
Looking for electrical help you can count on? Switch to Mr. Electric. We have some of the best trained electricians in the business, and they're ready to help you with any project, big or small. Best of all, with Mr. Electric, our work is 100% guaranteed. That's why so many people trust Mr. Electric.
We've got the power to make things better. Mr. Electric.
Welcome to the halftime show here on the Legacy Sports Network, where the halftime score is the North Shore Mustangs 25, the Strake Jesuit Crusaders 21. Strake Jesuit scored 14 points there in the second quarter to the North Shore 11, able to cut down the lead. Down to only a 4-point lead here, Paul, going into halftime for the North Shore Mustangs.
Well, you mentioned it before the game. Was this a quote-unquote trap game for North Shore, especially coming in as the heavy favorites? And, you know, these are young 16, 17, 18-year-olds not knowing possibly the gravity of this moment. You know, you have an opponent that rankings-wise is lower than you, talent-wise is lower than you, but they're still going to come out and play with a lot of heart, and that's what they did in the first half, and that's why they're in this game right now. So coming out in the second half, we've seen North Shore come out just explosive in each half of the playoffs, just really put their foot on their opponent's neck. I expect that to come out. I expect Coach Woods to get his guys to know the importance of this moment right now. It wouldn't surprise me if he relays the message of what we know with the Atascocita 7 Lakes game, and know for a potential rematch that if they win this game against Strake Jesuit, handle their business, come out in the second half and dominate, they set up another rematch with a team that they've lost to twice this season and are looking for revenge for.
The final score there tonight from the Del Mar Fieldhouse. The Atascocita team wins 78 to the undefeated Seven Lakes Spartans 66. So the winner of this game will take on Atascocita later this week, Paul.
Wow. Well, first off, I want to say that doesn't surprise me. Second off, I can't believe my picks are all right in this region. Why can't it just be like that whenever I pick for March Madness games? I hope that trend continues on for the next week and a half or two. But I've predicted every game in this region so far correctly, and when you looked at it, you just saw the potential third matchup between Atascocita and North Shore. And I think when you boil it down, we've talked about it. Does your district really prepare you for the playoffs? It has completely shown in this region. Atascocita, they're so hard to just prepare for and game plan as a coach. Seven Lakes is a tremendous team. They have Jose Martins, Santos, and it really was going to come down to the health of Nas Price. We'll see how much of an impact he was in that game. But Atascocita, they are such a complete team. You talk about it. They're backcourt to frontcourt, 3 D1 players, and they have front court guys 6'7", 6'8", 6'10". They're just so hard to account for because you never know which player it is going to be that you have to contain that night because they have multiple bodies and they have other junior guards like Roy Shelton and Savoy. So, if this result holds up with North Shore, I think a lot of people are going to be happy with the result coming in that regional final with the North Shore Atascocita. And we talked about it, Jeff. It really wasn't that far off for North Shore in both those games. It was a 2.5 quarter game before Atascocita really took control in the third quarter of both games. There's plays here and there that North Shore looks back on where they're like, hey, if this goes our way, this is a different kind of ball game. And maybe we are the winners in district. Well, maybe that wouldn't have helped them because they would have had to play Seven Lakes in the regional semifinal. But they'll gladly take this, have those teams beat up on each other, and they just got to take care of business coming out here in the second half.
Atascocita and North Shore a few weeks ago when Paul and I saw Atascocita won 63-48 over the North Shore Mustangs. When Paul and I come back, we'll talk more about this first half and what to expect here in the second half. You're listening to the Halftime Show here on the Legacy Sports Network.
When life gets in the way, a work trip, family plans, or even bad weather, don't let your tickets go to waste. Quick Assist makes it simple. Your seats are listed on every major marketplace at the same time, saving you the hassle and putting money back in your pocket. Whether it's the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, or NCAA, we've got you covered. Download the app today by scanning the QR code on our website. Quick Assist, your ticket everywhere.
To be a mentor, you don't have to have some special talent. That's why we're having some real-life mentors sing for us. Hit it, guys.
Row, row, row your boat, gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Thanks, that was awful. So remember, to mentor a child, you don't have to be perfect.
Row, row, row your...
Please stop. You just have to call Save the Children toll-free at 1-877-BA-MENTOR.
A message brought to you by Save the Children and the Ad Council.
Welcome back here to the Phillips Fieldhouse here in Pasadena, Texas, where the halftime score is the North Shore Mustangs 25, the Strake Jesuit Crusaders 21. The North Shore Mustangs only shooting 1 of 10 from the three-point range there in the first half, but they're from the free throw line 8 of 8. For the Strake Jesuit Crusaders, their main guy here tonight, Evan Vong, 2 of 6 from the three-point range, 8 points. Paul, I came into tonight's game a little concerned about North Shore. This looked like it could be a trap game. Like Coach Wood said in the interview process there earlier, he was telling his players, don't look at the internet, don't look at it, don't think about it. Just because Strake Jesuit's here and you think that they've had a couple games where they shouldn't have made it this far into the playoffs. Anybody who's made it this far, there's a reason why they're here at the moment.
And the longer you let a team hang around in a game like this, the more they feel like they can win. And that's what Strake Jesuit's mentality is in the locker room right now. Only down 4. Those long balls by Vong have kept him in the game. It's because of the dribble drive. He talked about it. Inside-out ball. That's such a great way to play whenever you have all these switches coming off your screens at the top. Just getting your guards downhill like Thomas and finding them and being ready to shoot. And then you talk about North Shore. They just have to know the moment right now. These are young guys. Both sides are young, but North Shore is very young as well. You talk about DeMarcus Sloan, you talk about Dylan Colbert. This is everybody's first playoff experience, even Christian Gibson. So this is the moment where they have to capitalize and put their stamp on it in the second half like we've seen them do throughout this whole season. Because if you break this down, fourth quarter, Christian Gibson is more than likely going to take over. But you can't keep relying on that to happen over and over again. That's just such a high usage rate. You're putting so much on his shoulders. You're just going to have full, complete, total team ball to just really start this third quarter like you did against Pearland. You were down by 6 against Pearland. Rashad Williams and DeMarcus Sloan were the ones that were the catalysts in making sure that they got ahead. They've dominated majority of that second half. Pearland was trying to tie it. They got it down to 2. They weren't able to get it down to a tied ball game, but it just comes down to your players just knowing the gravity of this moment. And these are young kids, and it's so easy to look ahead of the schedule and just kind of downplay your opponent. But everybody is good that's remaining in Texas basketball right now. I mean, it's the Sweet 16 with 2 teams that are vying for an Elite 8 appearance. So Strake Jesuit has a really good guards. I've liked them a lot. Just talking about it, this is one of their best seasons since the 2009-2010 season when they ever went to the third round, and then the year before that they went to the state championship game. So this is a really good team. You can't really underestimate them by any means. Just because they're young and undersized and maybe not as athletic as you doesn't mean that you have to play down to your opponent. So this is going to have to be a different mentality that from the first half and the second half that we see the North Shore come out right here.
When Paul makes that comment about young team, Christian Gibson for the North Shore Mustangs is pretty much the only senior next to Joshua Richardson and Jeremiah Thomas, but Christian Gibson's the main scorer for this team. He's a senior. DeMarcus Sloan, he's a junior. Colbert is a junior. Mayberry and Walker are both juniors as well. For the Strake Jesuit Crusaders, their main guy here tonight, who's a senior, is TDL. He's a senior as well. The great news tonight so far, Paul, is Sean Mayberry is getting into the action tonight. He scored 5 points. He is 2 of 3 from the field, 1 of 1 from the free throw line. He only came into tonight's game with 2 points in the first 2 playoff games. Definitely ran into foul trouble in the second game. But it's great to see Sean Mayberry bringing points onto the scoreboard here in the first half for the
Yeah, I think
Mustangs.
he's such an important piece to North Shore's offense, especially when he's available. And we've seen it in the first few playoff games. He has just had really uncharacteristic games because of foul trouble and just not getting good rhythm. But we talked about it, that 3-headed monster that you have with Sloan, Colbert, and Gibson that you would account for 80% of the playoff scoring. You're going to need somebody else to step up on a night-to-night basis. They've implemented a lot of plays for Mayberry to get touches into successful spots. So he's getting his shots up, getting some confidence, and that's what you need going into a potential regional final against Atascocita. But going back to your point, it's also could be about nerves. This is the first time where I think North Shore in the playoffs feels like they're the hunted instead of the hunter. You know, a lot of people were high on Madden Hill, and fair. He's one of the top guards in the country. He was really impressive in the game. It was a really close game, 2-point game all the way down to the end. A lot of people, it was a 50-50 game with the Pearland. A lot of it could have gone one way, it could have gone the other way. We could be sitting right here with Pearland against Strake Jesuit right now instead. So this is the first game where they have been the favorites, and that's just such a different mentality to come in with in playoff time whenever you've been the one that's hunting. You've been hunting Atascocita. You've been hunting all these teams in the playoffs where everybody has been counting you out or putting you below them, and now they're facing it with the Strake Jesuit squad that is really good and looking to get more onto the season.
One of the things that helps this North Shore Mustang team, we talked about it in the pregame show, free throws. They're 8 of 8 from the free throw line. The Crusaders only 0 of 2. The Mustangs in the playoffs have shot 35 free throw attempts to their visiting teams, only shooting 30. But the difference, North Shore, 77% from the free throw line, where the visiting teams are only 57%.
Yeah, and that's mainly Christian Gibson. He's had the ball late in the game in his hands, just fouling them whenever the teams have tried to extend games, or he's just been putting himself in positions where the refs to call fouls, and he's been knocked down. That's a guy that you can rely on, and no other person that should have the ball in the hands in late in the fourth quarter. I'd like to see a player throughout this whole Texas UIL postseason have the numbers that he's had in the second half and fourth quarter. He's averaging 12 points in the fourth quarter. That is a ridiculous number. Some players average 12 a game. To average 12 points in clutch time with 4 to 5 minutes left in a game, that's just a go-to guy that you desperately need in playoffs that you can just ride, and that's what Christian Gibson is doing with 26 points on the night so far, or 26 averaging the night in playoffs.
Second half about to start here for the Strake Jesuit Crusaders. Tucker Shannon, Justin Thomas, TDL, Evan Vong, and Peyton George. For the North Shore Mustangs, Jorge Pacheco, Sean Mayberry, Christian Gibson, Dylan Colbert, and DeMarcus Sloan. North Shore with the ball, going from left to right on the radial dial. Down low to Mayberry. Mayberry along the baseline. He's trying to put a shot up. He puts it up. He's fouled as well. Wow. Nice shot there by Mayberry.
Well,
getting him into action quickly.
Yeah, they ran the same play to start the game, just on the opposite side. Let that cut go through and then have the ball reversal, get to Jorge Pacheco, feed it to him on the low block. Nice little spin move. That's the second time we've seen him utilize that move. We'll get the and one opportunity once again.
Peyton George with the foul, so they start this quickly with Sean Mayberry putting the free throw up and good, and they're 9 for 9 from the free throw line here tonight. Now take the lead 28-21.
And now that gives you the chance to set up a little bit of a full court press, put a little bit more pressure on these guards, make them feel uncomfortable.
Colbert tightly on Shannon. Shannon on the left side. They're going from left to right on the radio dial wearing all white. Nice move by Shannon. Here's a teardropper, can't make it. TDL gets the rebound, but he's going to get fouled.
And whoever is in Shannon's ear as a basketball player, just to seeing him grow into the game, they need to let him know of a player, Bennett Sturts at Iowa. He was on that Drake team last year. Might just be because he has a blonde buzz that he looks like Bennett Sturts to me, but they have the same play styles as well. He's a calm, composed guard, lets the game come to him, and he's not afraid of backing down to anybody that's guarding him. That was Dylan Colbert. That's one of the best perimeter defenders in the region so far, and he easily got past him on that crossover. Another chance for our second chance points for TDL, getting another offensive board.
So Sean Mayberry picks up his second foul here of the night. He's got 8 points on the night. Great to see Sean Mayberry in action here in this semifinal game here this evening. TDL is going to go to the line to shoot 2. TDL is a senior, 6'4". His full name is Theron Dutton Lewis. Here's his first free throw. Off to the left side, no good. So we've talked about it. Crusaders now 0 for 3 from the line, where the Mustangs are 9 for 9. The reason why they have a 7-point lead here, 28-21. Here's the second free throw and puts it up and in.
Yeah, and you said it, Jeff. Jorge Pacheco to start the second half. He's often been the spark to start second half for a couple of games for the Mustangs, trying to create some separation right now.
Here's Gibson on the left side. He's driving in the lane, and he's going to get, they're going to call a jump ball possession, and the possession arrow goes to the Crusaders.
Man, you can just see a couple of the faces of the Mustangs. They're not really in this game, you kind of feel like it. They're just kind of just going through the motions, a little bit lackadaisical. I've seen it from Gibson and Sloan tonight. Maybe that's one of the reasons why Strake Jesuit is still in this game right now, but they got to shut the door early on him.
Yep, 28-22, North Shore with the lead here. 7 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Shannon comes across the timeline finally. Shannon driving on the right side. Pass over to Vong. Here's Vong for 3. Can't make it. And a rebound by TDL. Saves it. Inbounds. And they get the ball back.
This is just interesting because they definitely have the size and athleticism.
What a nice pass there to TDL down low and puts it up and in.
You know, there's just more want for the ball for the Crusaders to make sure they capitalize on possessions. Nobody's putting a body on the body.
28-24, North Shore with the lead. Ball goes out of bounds. It's going to still be North Shore ball. Definitely right there, Paul. I definitely feel like the lackadaisical efforts here by North Shore. They think they should win this game, and you just don't see the same energy that the Crusaders have on the court right now. Colbert out to Mayberry. Back to Pacheco on the right wing. Over the right side. Here's Gibson. Gibson for 3. Can't make it.
Look at Mayberry hustling.
Mayberry gets the rebound. Over to Pacheco at the top of the key. Pacheco slows things down. Resetting things back up for the team. Over to Colbert on the left side. Colbert's got a step. Throws out to Pacheco. Pacheco for 3. No good. Colbert gets the rebound, though. Puts it up. Can't make it. Gets his own rebound. Puts it back up and in.
A little flex on him. Just going through the body. Second jump. He was able to get there before Thomas going through the contact. Should have been an and one.
Colbert's got 7 points on the night. Here's the Crusaders on the left side. This is Shannon being guarded by Colbert. Coming around the screen. Sloan picks him up. Now TDL's got it on the right wing. TDL's driving on Mayberry. He's backing down on Mayberry. Trying to get in. Puts it up.
Travel.
And they call for traveling.
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier tonight. He's such an unorthodox player. I can't even tell whether he's a right or left-handed player sometimes. He's just backing Gibson or Mayberry down. Took an extra step right there. Crucial possession right there for the Crusaders, who have responded for each made basket so far from North Shore. Can't capitalize right there. Opportunity for the Mustangs to extend.
Escobar into the game for Shannon. For the Crusaders. And Jorge Pacheco throws an errant pass to Colbert and goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Crusader ball.
And you just give it right back up like that. Just picking up your dribble right at the half-court line. Basically was a second defender as Thomas was giving you that pressure. Errant pass to the sideline will give the ball back to the Crusaders.
Third quarter, North Shore 30, Crusaders 24. 5:39 left to play in the third quarter. Thomas has the ball in the backcourt. Throws out to TDL. TDL now in the front court. On the left side. He's driving on the left side on Mayberry. He's backing down on Mayberry. And they're going to call this time a foul on Mayberry.
I mean, he really puts his backside into his defender. I mean, he is just really going low, just at a 45-degree angle, actually. Really just trying to create some space onto Gibson or Mayberry. Mayberry is asking what is going on.
So Mayberry picks up his third foul of the night. Crusaders going to inbound the ball underneath their basket to the right. Thomas is going to inbound it. The junior, 5'11", gets it out to Vaughn. Vaughn in the right corner pocket in the three-point area. Being guarded by Sloan. Brings it all the way back out to Thomas. Thomas being guarded by Pacheco. Gets around Pacheco. He's in the lane. Puts a right hand up and in.
Tough little finish. Elevation in the air, keeping it alive. Gibson trying to go for the block, but the second up and under gets it off the glass.
North Shore 30, and Gibson falls down, slips down, and they're going to call a timeout by the North Shore Mustangs. North Shore 30, Crusaders 26, 5:06 left to play here in the third quarter. We'll be back right here on the Legacy Sports Network.
You've got tickets to the game, but something comes up. Maybe the boss sends you on the road, the kids have practice, or you just can't make the drive. That's where Quick Assist steps in. With one tap, your seats hit every major ticket marketplace at once. No more juggling apps, no more wasted time. Quick Assist, it takes the hassle out of resale and puts cash in your pocket. Pro or college sports, it's all covered. Download the app today by scanning the QR code on the LSN website. Quick Assist, your ticket everywhere.
Back here at the Phillips Fieldhouse with the North Shore Mustangs 30, the Strake Jesuit Crusaders 26. North Shore is going to inbound the ball with 5:06 left to play here in the quarter.
I mean, you look at the numbers tonight, nobody's in double digits, but it's been a variety of scoring on both ends, as that's going to be a pass out of bounds. Not a good play off the sideline out of bounds, but 9 for TDL, 8 for Vong, 9 for Gibson, Mayberry with 8. Everybody has just contributed for the Crusaders as well. The numbers are pretty even, shooting-wise from the 3, overall from field goal. It's just been the difference at the line. North Shore has been hitting their shots, there's been a little stagnant on the offensive end, has kept the Crusaders in, and we talked about the more you keep them in, the more they feel like they can win this game if later going on in the fourth quarter.
North Shore 30, Crusaders 26. The Crusaders have the ball, going from left to right on the radio dial. TDL driving on Colbert, he's backing down. Here's pass out to Shore. Shore puts it up, can't make it. And we got guys all over the place. George gets the rebound, puts it up and in.
I mean, there's just bodies coming towards the ball. They're just standing around watching the ball hit the deck, or somebody's just going to get a deflection on it. That's just another second chance opportunity. 2-point ball game now.
Crusaders down by 2, 30-28. Here's Joshua Richardson. He's driving, can't make it. And the rebound is by the Crusaders.
All right, now it gets danger time for the Mustangs right now.
So here's the Crusaders trying to get the ball from the backcourt to Thomas. They're running close out of time. Whoa, they call traveling.
Huge.
Call.
Huge. It either would have been a 10-second, very close to it, or would have been a traveling. The conversion on Thomas right there before he gets to the midline. And that's a huge stop. They could have tied it or taken the lead. Momentum is definitely building on this side. We're hearing it behind us from the Strake Jesuit crowd. They got to get something here on this offensive end. You know, you got your go-to guy with Gibson. They've been trying to run a couple of offensive sets. They've just been not working, but you might just have to go back to your guy that's getting you buckets on this whole season.
Here we go. Sloan, he's got it. He steps in front of the three-point marker, can't make it. Here comes the Crusaders coming back down the court. Thomas on the right side. 30-28, North Shore with the lead. 4:02 left to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be a different game if they hit a shot right here, right now.
Here's Thomas trying to drive on the left side. He gets knocked out of his hands, and it's still going to be Crusader ball. North Shore in the game. Richardson, Joshua Richardson, Sam Walker, Dylan Colbert, DeMarcus Sloan, and Christian Gibson is the lineup for the Mustangs. Under 4 minutes left to play. Off to the right side to the Crusaders to Vong. Vong in the game. Vong has 2 fouls. 8 points on the night. Vong being guarded tightly by Sloan. He's driving on the right side. Pass it off. Nice pass down. Blocked by Sloan.
Wow, that's a great job by Sloan. He got beat off the dribble, so Walker had to come over and help. Nice dish shot by Vong, but then the recovery to get that help side, blocking that shot out of bounds, hitting Vong while he was out of bounds. Another crucial stop, and there's been multiple opportunities where Strake Jesuit has had an opportunity to tie or take the lead. Haven't capitalized on that.
Great job there by him.
There
Here's a pass down low to Gibson, puts it up and in.
And Jeff, that's exactly what we're seeing. That would not have been an open shot for Strake Jesuit because of the recovery and the length. Right there, Gibson has such height, he's able to get that easily over the defender.
That was one of the best plays we've seen here all night for the Mustangs. Here's George, throws one up, can't make it. And it's going to be a foul on North Shore. So the foul's going to be on Sam Walker, his second foul of the night. coming into the game for the Crusaders is Tucker Shannon. Coming in for Alex Hughes. Here's a three-pointer by George. Puts it down and in.
Well, they were just sleeping off the inbound, just leaving George wide open in the corner. More than a capable shooter, and he's been knocked down in these playoffs, getting this back to a close game, 1 point now.
George is 2 of 4 from the three-point line. 32-31, North Shore with the lead. Here's Gibson for a fall-away shot. Can't make it.
All right, now it gets interesting right here, Jeff.
Here comes Vaughn down the court. They could take the lead. Sloan steals it. He's got numbers. He's going to take it himself. Puts it off the glass and in.
He's been huge in each of the second halves of each game, and he has been the stopper on both ends. He was the one that got the block on Hughes. This time in transition, hands out in the passing lane, able to convert on the 2-on-1 break. That's a huge timeout right there, just easing things for North Shore's side. You could tell they're starting to get a little bit rattled, and we talk about it. These are young kids, Jeff. They're 16, 17, 18. You're putting so much on their plate in a position where they've never been before. So in an environment where, yes, it favors them, Strake Jesuit is giving them all they can handle, and just credit to them. But North Shore, they have to capitalize on these opportunities right now.
I have 36-31. They didn't count that Sloan shot just now. There's Christian Gibson with the 2 and DeMarcus Sloan. They're missing 2 points on the main scoreboard here, I see at the moment. I got 36, Crusaders 31. Here in the third quarter. So far in the third quarter of action here tonight, it is North Shore scoring 1 extra point. They are shooting from the field 7 of 10, where the Crusaders are shooting 4 of 9 here in the third quarter.
And the long ball has been a factor for North Shore in the first 2 playoff games. Colbert and Sloan have been able to knock it down. Only 1 for 12 to start the night. Under 10%, not a number that you want to see in this game, where you could try to stretch it out before you get to the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, you'll be guaranteed that there'll be a couple of shots that they have to be able to knock down if Strake Jesuit is still in this game.
North Shore coaches were over at the scorer's table talking to them about the points, and they still haven't changed the scoreboard here. So they have 34-31 here at the moment. 2:32 left to play in the quarter. Shannon bringing it across the timeline.
And now we're seeing getting away from the man, going back to the 1-3-1 with Dylan Colbert at the top.
Over to Shannon. Shannon, he's in the, over to Vaughn. Vaughn in the left corner pocket, back to Shannon. Shannon trying to go on Colbert, back to Thomas. 2:15 left to play. North Shore leading 34-31.
I like this right now. You're making your team communicate and execute defensively instead of just trying to guard your yard. They've been getting beat all night. Now it's on them to communicate on the defensive end.
Thomas picks up the dribble. Over the right corner pocket to George. George driving. Gives them a nice shot pass out to TDL. Can't make it. Rebound by Vaughn. Vaughn stops, picks it up, knocks out of his hands. And we have a possession arrow.
And it's been consistent all night. The Crusaders have been the first to the ball. Even when it looks like North Shore is going to complete the session with the rebound, somebody's hands are in there, keeping it alive, tipping it out. Vaughn tried to get that as well as Shannon, but the possession arrow will go back to the Mustangs side.
So North Shore is going to have the ball here. 1:47 left to play in the quarter. They're wiping up the sweat on the ground since they were all fighting for the ball on the ground.
I mean, that's a big man, and that's a big pile of sweat you got to clean up from a guy like Sam Walker getting on the ground.
Sam Walker, 6'5". Great to see Sam Walker here in the game here tonight in the third quarter. He injured his ankle the other night, but coach said he was at 75% here in this game. So
his 75% athleticism and jump is a lot better than a lot of people's 100% athleticism. So having him out there is crucial tonight, obviously, to spell some minutes from Mayberry.
Gibson on the right wing, being guarded by TDL, trying to drive on him. He's driving on the left side. Puts the left hand up, can't make it, he's short.
And he's been seeking contact instead of going through it tonight.
Here they come, they're down the court. Blocked by Colbert, what a great block by Colbert. Here they come, they're coming back down the court quickly on the right side. Here's a shot by Gibson, can't make it. And Walker tried to get the rebound, but can't, goes down.
I've never seen that before. That jab step in the corner was so good, it had somebody in the paint falling down and unable to hit that shot. Walker trying to keep that alive, and I think it will go back to Strake Jesuit's side. But there's been some timely stops on the defensive end so far in this third quarter by North Shore. Strake has got it down to a 1-point game. They haven't been able to tie it or take the lead. It's because of these timely stops. We've seen Sloan, and this time we saw Colbert with that block at the rim.
So Crusaders going to inbound the ball here. 1:19 left to play here in the third quarter. Coming into the game, Cade Payton for the Crusaders. For Escobar,
And this is making me feel very old. I used to coach Cade Payton while I was at Fort Bend Christian. If Graham Payton is listening, your brother is already taller than you at 6'5" right now.
Here's Thomas coming across the timeline on the right side. 1:11 left to play here in the third quarter. Colbert's guarded him, looking for a screen by TDL. Thomas still on the right side. Now Gibson picks him up. Nice move. Pass way out to Shannon. Over to the left side to George. George had a three, but he picked it up.
Yeah, should have shot it or passed in the middle of the TDL.
We're under a minute left to play here in the third quarter. Shannon at the top of the key over to the right side to Thomas. North Shore 34 to the Crusaders 31. They're slowing things down.
Yeah, and this 1-3-1 has given them fits. They've been able to get into driving lanes, but haven't been able to capitalize on open shots. Either just a little short on it. The passes haven't been there on time either.
So here's Thomas. Over to Thomas, back to Thomas. 36 seconds to TDL. Or to George.
Pass.
George for three this time. Puts it down.
Huge. Took their time. Found the middle again. Hidden into the corner. George, third three on the night.
We have 34-34 on the main scoreboard. At the moment, Rashad Williams under 20 seconds left to play here in the quarter. Sam Walker's got it. Crusaders fan base is excited here at the moment. Colbert, nice bounce pass to Sloan. Wow, what a block there by Thomas.
We'll talk about the recovery from the Strake Jesuit side. Sending that out almost into the stands was Thomas. Sloan thought he had an easy look at the lane. He's accustomed to getting that back door, whether it's Pacheco or Colbert. Now with 12.8 left on the clock, tied ball game, you got to imagine this is a one possession right here. You got to get something for Christian Gibson, maybe get something for confidence going into the fourth quarter.
Colbert inbound the ball to Rashad Williams. 10 seconds left to play in the quarter. Tie game. Sloan's got on the right side. Over to Gibson. Gibson back to Sloan. 4 seconds. Sloan driving, puts it off the glass and in. Wow, what a great drive there by Sloan.
Talk about quiet in the crowd, just driving through the lane, up and over, carrying that ball over and going through the contact. Way to recover for Sloan after getting that block right there and go up to a 2-point lead.
That's the end of the third quarter with the North Shore Mustangs 36 to the Strake Jesuit 34. We'll be back right here on the Legacy Sports Network.
You've got tickets to the game, but something comes up. Maybe the boss sends you on the road, the kids have practice, or you just can't make the drive. That's where Quick Assist steps in. With one tap, your seats hit every major ticket marketplace at once. No more juggling apps, no more wasted time. Quick Assist, it takes the hassle out of resale and puts cash in your pocket. Pro or college sports, it's all covered. Download the app today by scanning the QR code on the LSN website. Quick Assist, your ticket everywhere.
Come back here at the end of the third quarter with the North Shore Mustangs leading 36-34 over the Strake Jesuit Crusaders. Strake Jesuit cut down the lead here, scoring 2 more points than the North Shore Mustangs there in the third quarter, Paul, 13-11.
Well, Strake has made this a very interesting ball game. A couple of big-time threes in the corner by Peyton George. Just really good heads-up guard play. We talked about it. These guards, Tucker Shannon, have been really keeping the ball clean. Not a lot of turnover so far in the half court in transition. They turn the ball over. Nice plays by Justin Thomas finding his open men, but it's going to come down to it. We talked about it. North Shore, they're not afraid of these fourth quarter games. They've been in fourth quarter games, both of playoff games, because you got a go-to guy that you're going to rely on right now. He's been a little cold on the night so far, but it's a type of ball game that he can take over right now. Very low scoring, very surprising as well.
Crusaders going to inbound the ball to start the fourth quarter, going from left to right on the radio dial. George to TDL. TDL, Evan Vong, Tucker Shannon, and Justin Thomas.
And for North Shore, it's going to have to be about engaging on the defensive end. That's going to lead them to their offense.
George with a nice move down low to TDL and puts it up and in. Tie the game.
I mean, they're just finding the passes. Obviously, coming off of the screen and roll, it's hard to communicate, and they haven't been putting a lot of screen and roll action. It's testing their lack of communication so far this season.
Here's Gibson driving on the left side. Gives out to Rashad Williams. Rashad Williams trying to drive on Shannon. Stops. He's going to get called. Oh, a push on Shannon.
Yeah. He got under Williams driving into the lane. This is a big possession right here. You talk about it, momentum. The first time Jesuit has tied this game ever since the beginning stages of the game, and now with the stop right here, they have an opportunity to take the lead.
Here's Sloan in the left corner pocket for three. Good.
Knocked down. They must not know who I am. You got to close out on DeMarcus Sloan. 95 threes on the season. Let him know who you are.
Sloan with the last 2 buckets for the North Shore Mustangs. Now take the lead 39-30.
He's been huge this second half.
So here's Shannon off to TDL on the top of the key. TDL over to the right side to George. George being guarded by Gibson. Back to Shannon. Shannon trying to drive, stops, picks up the dribble. Or to Vong. Vong for an 8-footer. Can't make it. Gibson going for the rebound, but bounces on the ground. Vaughn picks it back up and puts it in.
I mean, that's just another loose ball that they're getting to. Rashad Williams should have gotten on the ground before Vaughn got to that. Second chance point for Vaughn gets it back to a 1-point game. And we talked about it has to be engagement on the defensive end. If you get rebounds and get the stops and possessions, you'll be able to go out and transition.
Vaughn with 10 points on the night. Here's DeMarcus Sloan on the right side. 6:30 left to play in the fourth quarter. Pass all the way over to Gibson. Gibson for three. Short. Mayberry with the rebound, puts it back up and in.
Yeah, and Gibson brought out the taller defender TDL on him, which left Mayberry only being boxed out by Shannon. Shannon only 6 foot, capitalizing on the second chance points. Now we're the Mustangs.
Gibson struggling from the three-point marker, 0 for 4 on the night. Here's Shannon, can't make that shot. Rebound by Mayberry. That was a strong rebound by Mayberry. Here they come down the court. To Colbert for a three. Good!
Huge, and see what happens whenever you get stops and move in transition for the Mustangs. Quick 7-0 run to finally get back in this ball game and get your biggest lead of the night so far.
So North Shore leading 44-38 or the Strake Jesuit Crusaders. Christian Gibson on the night, only 11 points, but I tell you what, Paul, DeMarcus Sloan, he has been one of the main focal points here in this game tonight. He is definitely trying to put this team on his back because he can see Gibson is struggling from the field, shooting 3 of 14.
Well, he hit a big-time confident three in the second half against Pearland in that back-and-forth game, and that was a huge three after Strake Jesuit tied the game at 36. Man, you talk about it. Your primetime players have to show up in primetime. You have Christian Gibson who was having a little bit of an off night, and this goes back to one of my favorite sports is tennis, Jeff. And in a Grand Slam, you have to win 6 straight matches. But not all of those matches are going to be your best tennis. You're going to have to account for one that you're just going to have to grind it out. And hopefully you have, you know, in tennis, you're individual. But let's face, for instance, it's a doubles. You have somebody that you can rely on. Christian Gibson is having somebody that he can rely on in this off night for him to capitalize in these moments in the second half. And it's DeMarcus Sloan and Dylan Colbert. That's a huge three by Sloan in the corner and then getting over to Colbert as well. Going ball reversal. That was a great pass by Rashad Williams as well. These are just big moments that you're seeing this team grow before our eyes because this is their first time in the playoffs. They haven't been here before. They don't know what this moment is like. They're going at it with us because we haven't been here with them as well. So this is just the moments where you learn to just calm down, know that you're the better team, and they are tonight, even though Strake Jesuit has made this a toe-to-toe battle. But, man, what a run right there, and that's all because of the stops and the aggressive possession. You said it, Mayberry, with that authoritative rebound.
You know what? Paul and I ran into Dylan Colbert's dad Thursday night, and they talked about how he needs to shoot when he's rising. He was too flat. Paul made that comment last week as well, and you can see Colbert is definitely taking the advice of his family this evening.
And his dad told him to step into that shot, and that's what you got to do, be able to catch and shoot. Williams found him with a nice reverse into the corner, and he was shot ready and got that up.
Crusaders have the ball going from left to right on the radio dial. Wearing all white. North Shore 48, Crusaders 38, 5:44 left to play. Thomas driving over to the right side to George. George steps in, shoots a 10-footer, and good.
Very fortunate for Thomas. He got up in the air and almost didn't have an answer for it.
Here's Mayberry down low. He's able to save the ball on the baseline. Back out to Sloan. Sloan, boy, he was helped, but they didn't call a foul. Here's Gibson. He steps in. He's shooting an 18-footer. Swish.
I mean, we're seeing it from DeMarcus Sloan. That is a next-level move, taking that dribble, hesitation into the lane, in and out, finding Gibson, who gets the shot fake up, gets his defender up in the air, and that's a tip off the Strake Jesuit right there, and it'll go back to the North Shore side. But that's a tough shot by Christian Gibson, what we're used to seeing in these moments, capitalizing. The defense just overhelps.
North Shore leading 46-40 here in the fourth quarter. 5:13 left to play in the game. Tucker Shannon coming back into the game for the 6'7" Alex Hughes Sr.
And this is a different energy now we're seeing from guard DeMarcus Sloan. It's a great play. I wish fans could see that in live action right now and on stream, because that's a tough move, getting in between your defenders, in and out dribble, and then finding Gibson, who gets that shot fake, gets the defender up in the air, and it's a nice 15-footer.
Rashad Williams loses the dribble, and he's going to be called for the foul. He's going to pick up his 4th foul of the night.
Yeah, and that's one you just can't compound on. You turn over the ball, and then you just grab Vaughn, who was trying to go off in transition, committing your 4th foul on the night. You're so key to this because you're one of the best guard defenders on this team as well. You've been on task of whether it's been Thomas or Vaughn tonight. Now you're putting in the smaller Joshua Richardson, who's going to have to step up in this moment.
So Williams is going to have to go sit down. Teammates are going to have to pick him up a little bit. He's putting his head down. He's definitely disappointed, picking up 4 fouls here with 4:58 left to play here in the fourth quarter. Here come the Crusaders going from left to right on the dial. Thomas being guarded by Richardson in the backcourt. Being guarded tightly. North Shore leading 46-40. Thomas trying to drive on him, gives it TDL. TDL at the top of the key. TDL travels.
Wow. I mean, this just goes back to just how very unorthodox of a player he is, just shifting his feet all over the place. Wanted to dribble handoff with his guards, but they weren't coming to him, so he decided to try to walk over there and hand the ball over to him.
Well, the good thing here in high school basketball, they call traveling calls unlike the pros. So coming back into the game is Alex Hughes, the senior, 6'7", into the game. So Alex Hughes and Justin Thomas, the only two seniors on the court for the Crusaders here in the fourth quarter. And he steals it from Richardson. Thomas, but Richardson knocks it off his hands and he can't put it up. What a great defensive stop there by Richardson.
That's huge hustle on the back end. You turn over the ball. That's twice now that guards Williams and now Richardson have turned over the ball. And now Thomas thought he had an easy layup, but the hustle, last swipe through, able to get that baseline out of bounds now.
Joshua Richardson, the 6-foot senior, able to break that play up. Here's Thomas trying to inbound the ball, trying to get to Alex Hughes. Nope, they're going to throw way out. Sloan is going to steal it. He's going to put it off the glass on the right side and in.
Talk about momentum. That's a 4-point swing. Easy points at the rim, it looked like, for Thomas, and then out of bounds, throwing it all the way to the other side of the court, and Sloan has the height advantage in the bounce over Vaughn. Just tips that over and gets 2 easy ones for him, adding to his point totals on the night at 13.
Sloan having a great night, but just gets called for the foul there. He's getting a little, getting excited, trying to get more steals here at the moment.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit of a chewing from his coach. He's a little bit over aggressive on that. You gotta credit him. He's into it now. This is what you want to see out of him in the second half.
Yep. DeMarcus Sloan averaging 15 points on the season in a game. Tonight he's got 13. Sloan has definitely picked up the luggage here tonight for the North Shore Mustangs. Here's Vaughn. Vaughn off to Thomas. Being guard. Oh, he steps over the back, the midcourt line. So it's over and back to the North Shore Mustangs. Great defense there by the Mustangs.
This is what we're seeing in the first quarter whenever they were sending aggressive hard hedges to these guards off the pick and rolls. Now they're going back to it, and these guards are feeling the pressure. A couple of back-to-back turnovers by Justin Thomas. He's taking out the ball game to cool down now.
Justin Thomas, the senior, coming out of the game here at the moment. And Gibson got it on the left side. Gibson driving on TDL. Over to Richardson. Richardson to Colbert for 3. Woo! Wide time, Colbert.
Talk about team ball. Passing up a good shot for a better shot. Dylan Colbert camping out in the three-point line. Richardson, nice, one more to him. Biggest lead of the night.
11-point lead. Here they steal it. Here comes Richardson on the left side. TDL makes it. Colbert puts it back up. Can't get it as well. He gets his rebound, puts it back up. He gets fouled and puts it down.
Let him know who you are, Dylan Colbert. He's been there each and every time this season for North Shore to pick up and clean up for his teammates' misses. Once again, in the biggest moment of the season, to capitalize on this electric run for the North Shore Mustangs. Gets an N1 opportunity. Coach Amarosa is going to call a timeout because Dylan Colbert is going to force them to talk about him.
We are going to take a break as well. North Shore leading 53-40 with 3:43 left to play here in the fourth quarter. We'll be back right here on the Legacy Sports Network.
Real cheese, real hot, real taste is what we've got. Real fresh, real fast. All those other pizzas are a thing of the past. Mr. Gatti's Pizza in Houston on Uvalde Road offers a wide selection on their daily fast feast, all-you-can-eat pizza, pasta, salad, and dessert buffet. Don't forget about the entertainment center for the kids. Games, and games. Open for lunch or dinner. Gotta get Gatti's. Mr. Gatti's Pizza, the best pizza in town. Honest.
North Shore 53, Strake Jesuit 40. North Shore on a 9-0 run. Paul, this is the North Shore team that we have seen all the second half of the season. They have energy, and they finally decided to bring the energy out here in the fourth quarter, scoring 17 points to Strake Jesuit's only 6.
Yeah, they've capitalized on Strake Jesuit's turnovers in this quarter right here. 9-0 run based off of 4 consecutive stops, and they've scored on each of those 4 stops. That's why they have the biggest lead of the game right now at 13, and that's what makes this team so dangerous, because you think you're in a game with them, but then just like that, they go on a quick 7-0, 9-0 run because they get points in transition, and it all just about in their engagement on the defensive end. If they're locked in defensively, it is so hard to score against this size, length, and athleticism that Colbert, Sloan, Mayberry, Walker all have. And then now you compartmentalize it with a guy like Dylan Colbert, who's just been so opportunistic this season. We had a chance to talk to his father. You can't teach a player to be at the right place at the right time or just have that knack and IQ in the game of basketball. That just comes from game experience, just knowing the game in and out. Such a smart player, and now he's capitalizing here in the second half.
It reminds me of Tyrone Corbin from the late 80s, early 90s. Here's a free throw by Colbert, puts it up and in, and the North Shore Mustangs leading 54-40 here in the fourth quarter. They are now 10 of 10 from the free throw line here tonight. Here's Shannon on the left side. 3:38 left to play. Vaughn on the left side now, being guarded by Colbert. Colbert is hot tonight with 9 points here in the fourth quarter. Vong in the lane, puts the shot up, can't make it. Mayberry going for the board, but TDL comes down with it. Off to the right side. Here's Vong for three. Too far. TDL gets the rebound back, and we're going to get a foul on Mayberry. He's going to pick up his fourth.
I'll give Mayberry the benefit of the doubt on that block out. It's so hard to judge air balls, especially whenever they're coming off. But that's back-to-back offensive boards where you're keeping the Strake Jesuit team still alive. The door is still open. If they hit a couple of shots or 319, they have to just string a couple of offensive possessions together and string a couple of stops. But you're giving them other opportunities where they can hit from the outside from deep.
Justin Thomas back in the game. They're going to call that on Mayberry, and Mayberry is going to foul out here in the fourth quarter.
Well, that was a very important get-back game for Mayberry. He was more involved, getting to double digits on the night. First time this whole postseason where you have 4 North Shore Mustang players in double digits. He's a part of the Sloan, Gibson, and Colbert onslaught that we've been accustomed to seeing. But that's a huge foul right there. Now, thought they might have been bringing in Samuel Walker, but decided to bring in Jeremiah Thomas instead.
So Sean Mayberry fouls out tonight, but has a great night. 10 points, 4 of 5 from the field, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Mayberry with a fantastic evening on the night. Gives a fist bump to Coach Dominic Amarosa of the Strake Jesuit Crusaders. Justin Thomas to the line to shoot. He misses the first free throw.
And there's so much to like about this Strake squad. They have such good youth and such good potential, but there's areas in the offseason that you can work on. The free throw shooting and the three-point shooting. They're leaving a lot at the line as they go 0 for 2. That's basically a stop for North Shore as they continue to mount on this 10-0 run.
Strake Jesuit 1 of 6 from the free throw line here in the game. 3 minutes left to play. Thomas steals it. He's coming down the right side. Gibson's going to contest it, and he's going to put it down and going to get fouled by Gibson at the same time. Nice job there by Thomas.
Yeah, I really like Thomas. That's 2 back-to-back possessions where he's been on ball guarding Richardson, and he stripped him from behind, and he plays with so much fire going downhill, taking the contact from the 6'7", 6'6" Gibson. I mean, the guy averages 12 points a night, 5 assists, as well as 5 rebounds a game. With their best perimeter defender, he's showing it here in the fourth quarter, trying to keep his team's season alive.
So Thomas going to go to the line. He's 0 for 2. He's going to try to see if he can make a three-point play. Here's a free throw, up and in. 54 North Shore. Crusaders 43, under 3 minutes left to play. Rashad Williams back in the game for the Mustangs. Took out Joshua Richardson. Gives it off to Jeremiah Thomas. Thomas, the senior, in the game here for the Mustangs for Mayberry. Off to the right side to DeMarcus Sloan on the right side. Wow, look at DeMarcus Sloan. What a move. Now he runs it all the way back out to Rashad Williams. Boy, he's got speed. Here's Rashad Williams over to Colbert, and we're going to get a foul, and they're going to call the foul on Tucker Shannon, his 4th for the Crusaders. 2:34 left to play here in the quarter. North Shore with the lead, 54-43.
Yeah, very frustrating game for Shannon tonight. 0 points on 4 fouls, and he's being substituted now for Cade Payton. Just hasn't been able to get any good looks. He's tried to create opportunities for his teammates, but hasn't been productive on the night so far.
Colbert to Gibson. Gibson, he steps back. He shoots. Can't make it. And here comes the Crusaders, down 54-43, 2:26 left to play in the quarter. Thomas across the timeline. He's on the right side, throws it out. Sloan steals it. Here comes Sloan. He's flying down, and he's going to get fouled quickly there by Peyton George.
Sloan is just lightning in a bottle. He's so electric in transition, that in and out dribble. We've seen it a couple times tonight where he's just easily gotten past defenders. Hard to keep a body in front of him, and the thing about Sloan is, Jeff, is that he's averaging 15 points a game on the season, but he's still an incomplete player. And that ball almost hits us over here in the press box over here, but he's still a growing player, even though he's played 55, 60 games starting for this North Shore squad going all the way back to his sophomore season. There's still areas where he can improve, and he knows that. He's such a good deep threat, over 95 threes on the season. He's shown his ability to finish in transition as well. There's so much more he could add to his game, which makes it so scary because he's already averaging 15 and he's not there as a player yet. So a lot to look forward to, and we're seeing the glimpses here in this postseason when their team needs it the most.
And he's a junior and only going to get better next season. Can't wait to see him next year as well. Here he is, Thomas over the left side. Here's Tucker Shannon for 3. He's short. Rebound by Gibson, and they're going to foul him quickly. That one's going to be on Justin Thomas. He's going to pick up his first foul of the night.
Yeah, and that's a huge foul right there. You couldn't get them making the corner 3. That would have cut it down to an 8-point ball game. And then now that silly foul in transition will put Gibson at the line, where he's been the most productive on the night. It's been an off-shooting night from the field, but at the line he's been really consistent.
So Gibson's going to go to the line. He's only scored 13 points on the night. Here's his first free throw. Oh, he misses the first free throw.
And this just goes back to thankfully, this is a game where they could afford him not having a good night. You know, he's had 27, 25 in his first 2 playoff games. And a lot of players, they would love to get 15 in a ball game. Christian Gibson, that's a down night for him as he knocks down the second one. But you've had others step up in his absence tonight, give him a little bit of break and a little load off of his shoulders going into a potential regional final against Atascocita.
So North Shore with the lead, 55-43, 149. Down, nice pass down low to George. He can't keep it. And North Shore's got it.
That's
Gibson's
huge.
got it in the backcourt.
Yeah, Vong had a wide open.
TDL.
Vong had a wide open George, and that's just so scary going against this side. I'm telling you, they didn't face this length and physicality in their district, and that's why that would have been an easy pass against Cy Fair and Katie in their first 2 rounds. The hustle and everybody running back for North Shore made that tip ball and that scramble for the ball end up in the North Shore side, as this is all looking like it will be a potential rematch once again between North Shore and Atascocita.
Like Paul is saying, the size of North Shore is impressive. Gibson makes the first free throw. Gibson on the court right now, 6'6". Jeremiah Thomas on the court, 6'5". Dylan Colbert on the court, 6'5" as well. And the tallest guy for the Crusaders is TDL at 6'4".
And he's only probably about 175, so you're going against this muscle from the other side. It's so tough, and that's really surprising why they've been able to control the offensive glass.
Gibson makes both free throws. Here's Vaughn down low, puts it up, can't make it. Rebound by Thomas, and he's going to get fouled.
Good job on Jeremiah Thomas. Coming down with that rebound firmly, making him foul you, and now they're trying to string a couple of possessions together and put this one to bed as it's a 14-point game. A couple of Strake Jesuit fans heading toward the X's, knowing the possible outcome of this one. But, I mean, Jeff, we talked about it. The second half from North Shore has been so dominant in the first 2 games, and we're seeing it in its 3rd-round matchup as well.
Yep, North Shore here tonight, 32 points here in the second half to the Strake Jesuits, only 22 points. So going to the line, Jeremiah Thomas for the first time here this evening. Jeremiah Thomas is a 65% free throw shooter. North Shore with the lead, 57-43, 129 left to play here in the 4th quarter, misses the first free throw. So North Shore 13-15 from the free throw line. Again, this is the part where they have been winning these games here in the playoffs is because of their free throw percentage, shooting 77%, where their opponents are only shooting 56%. For the Strake Jesuit, they're only shooting tonight 2 of 7 from the free throw line.
And, you know, there's still a lot to look forward to for Strake Jesuit. We talked about it. The 2028 class that they have, Shannon just had an off night as he goes 0 for 2 from the line. But you talk about it, Cade Payton, he brings good size as a power forward, and then another guy is trying to get back in his ball game and can't capitalize on a corner 3, but
Here's another 3. George puts a 3 down.
Yeah, and that's a quick timeout by Coach Amoroso, down by 11 with 1:17 left. But there's a lot to look forward to with the Strake Jesuit squad. This won't be the last time we hear from them in the upcoming years. They have such good youth that is coming up in the junior and sophomore class. And one guy that we haven't even talked about who's not even suiting up for them yet is Emmanuel Nuabuku, 6'8", 190, already one of the highly touted prospects in the state of Texas. He's up there with Madden Hill in the class of 2028. Already has offers from Harvard, Yale, and University of San Diego. Brings that stretch big, can shoot the ball, but is a physical rebounder, plays a lot bigger than 190 as well. This game might not go the way that Strake Jesuit wants, but there's a lot of hope in the future for what it could be in the next 2026, 27 for this Crusader squad. Coach Amoroso is a really good coach, has experience with USA basketball, is where he brought Emmanuel with him as well. And he's going to take that with this upcoming squad that has this playoff experience, get into the 3rd round for the first time since 2009. Nothing to be ashamed about so far in this game.
North Shore here in the 4th quarter shooting 64% from the field, where the Crusaders are only shooting 38%. So the score, North Shore 57, Crusaders 46. The leading scorers here in the 4th quarter, Dylan Colbert with 9 and Peyton George for the Crusaders with 5. Dylan Colbert with a great night on the night tonight. He and Christian Gibson both with 16 points on the night. DeMarcus Sloan with 13 points.
Yeah, we saw the poor shooting numbers from the downtown for the North Shore Mustangs. 1-3 coming into this 4th quarter. Now you hit 3. Couple by Sloan and Colbert, and that's the difference in this game. Obviously, the shooting numbers are pretty on par. 19 for 57, 33% for Strake, 20 for 49, 41% from North Shore. But the 3 ball has kept Strake alive, but then also capitalizing at the line and not able to knock down your free throws has been the Crusaders, has been the fault for them.
So a quick foul there by Escobar on DeMarcus Sloan. 4th quarter, North Shore 57, Crusaders 46, 1:16 left to play. DeMarcus Sloan going to go to the line to shoot. He's a 75% free throw shooter. Tonight he is 2 of 2. He has not missed a free throw yet in the playoffs.
You know, even on an off night with those shooting numbers that I just gave you as he misses the first free throw, they're on the cusp of getting 60 points. And whenever they get 60 points this season, their record is really good at a 27-2 record this season. That's one number that you got to account for going further on. Can they afford a couple of these off nights against a team like Atascocita in the next round? I mean, just kind of previewing that a little bit. It's going to be that third matchup. It comes down to, you've seen them, and as he knocks down the second free throw right there, you've seen them. You know them, you know players, and you know coaching styles as well. We're going to see a little bit of a different approach from North Shore. I'm guaranteeing you it. We're going to be seeing a little bit more off-ball movement, screens, just throw the whole kitchen sink out. That's the game that matters the most. Who cares what happened in the first 2 games of the season in the regular season? What happened in the third game whenever it all mattered? So getting a couple of kinks out right now, making sure you get players back in rhythm like Mayberry was huge tonight for the North Shore Mustangs.
Here's Shannon for 3. Oh, can't make it. TDL with the rebound. Gets it back to Shannon. Shannon for another 3. This time he puts it down.
Yeah, he has a lot of heart. He has a lot of heart, Jeff, and we saw him Friday night. I like Shannon. You know, Shannon, he doesn't back down. You know, one area that could improve is his shooting a little bit, especially at the free throw line as well. But he's ready for the moment. Hasn't had the scoring night that he wanted, and hasn't had the assist night that he wanted as well. But he's been able to still be engaged in this game, battling out for the full 32.
North Shore 58, Crusaders 49. We're under 1 minute left to play here in the fourth quarter. Shannon finally puts his first 3 points on the board. He is 1 of 6 from the field here tonight. 1 of 4 from the 3-point range. North Shore in the game shooting 41% from the field. The Crusaders, though, Paul, they have shot 59 shots tonight, where the North Shore's only shot 49. They're 34% though from the field. They've taken 10 more shots than the Mustangs.
Yeah, and we can't track the rebounding battle, but I would assume Strake Jesuit is winning that based off of the offensive boards, and that's why they have 10 more shots than the Mustangs. But they just didn't capitalize enough at the line and on those second chance points. That's what's been that fault for the Crusaders as bell goes off errantly a little bit. Unfortunate for the Crusaders. They had a little bit of a trap on Sloan, but it would just be a re-entry.
Accidentally pushed the horn button there, so 58,
well, did you see that a couple days ago that the horn was sounding in that Pistons versus Cavs game for 15, 20 straight minutes? The whole arena was just covering their ears. Thank God that didn't happen here.
So there's a quick foul on the Crusaders on one of the Mustang players. Didn't see who that was. It looks like DeMarcus Sloan's going to go to the line again to shoot. So 1:03, they put a few seconds left back on the clock. Sloan going to go to the line. He's 3 for 4 from the line here tonight. Here's his first free throw. Good. So coming into the game, so the Crusaders are going to have Peyton George, the leading scorer tonight, with 18 points for the Crusaders. Tucker Shannon in the game. TDL, he's got 11. Justin Thomas with 7. And Evan Vong with 10. Evan Vong has been quiet here, Paul, since that first quarter.
Yeah, he was huge in the first half, was really the spark that the Jesuit squad needed to come into this first half to make it a close ball game, but now he has a 3 attempt right here.
There's a 3, can't make it. Rebound, and the ball is bouncing around, and it's going to go out of bounds. Evan Vong scored 5 points in the first quarter, 3 in the second quarter, and 2 here in the fourth. Back out to TDL. Here's Thomas. Thomas driving in the lane. Gives off to George. Nice little pass to George. And puts it up and in. 60-51. North Shore with the lead. And George with a quick foul on Rashard Williams. So Rashard Williams going to go to the line. 47% free throw shooter on the season.
Yeah, he was hampered by foul trouble tonight. Had 4. Really couldn't get into a rhythm. But Pop, that's his nickname on the team, a sophomore, 2-sport athlete, was huge in that last game against Pearland. I think that 4-0 run that he had was so crucial to build momentum and get back into the lead against the Oilers squad. You can afford to have him as an off night because Mayberry was the one to get back into double digits. 4 players in double digits tonight for the Mustangs. Pop now with 3, chance for 4 at the line right now. But that's another guy who stepped up defensively wise. It doesn't have to always be on the scoreboard or the stat sheet. How is he playing defensively? He was really physical on Thomas and Shannon tonight. Good for him.
Great shooting there by Rashard Williams from the line. Makes both free throws. Vong on the left side. Bounces the ball off his leg. North Shore's got it, leading 62-51. Over to Pacheco, to Sloan. Okay. Down low to Colbert. Colbert off the glass and in.
Yeah, Colbert was just waiting for that. It was a 3-on-1 break. Sloan just camping in the corner. Nobody got back to Colbert, and this one is all academic right now.
North Shore still pressuring him. Over to the right side. Here's Peyton and George in the right corner pocket. He's going to shoot a 3. No good. Rebound by Vaughn and puts it up and in.
Yeah, they're still fighting.
10 seconds left in the game. North Shore leads 64-53, and Gibson just going to bounce the ball out, and that's going to be the final here tonight from the Phillips Fieldhouse, where the North Shore Mustangs win 64 to the Strake Jesuit Crusaders 53. The next game, North Shore versus the Atascocita Eagles later this week. Paul and I are going to be right back here for the postgame show here on the Legacy Sports Network.
Legacy Sports Network, now celebrating 18 years of broadcasting excellence. We are your home for local high school sports coverage. Expect excellent audio and video production. Whether you're listening at home or at the game, find us at lsnsports.com. Legacy Sports Network, building a legacy one game at a time.
Welcome back to the postgame show here on the Legacy Sports Network, where the North Shore Mustangs win 64-43 here this evening. We have here for our postgame show DeMarcus Sloan. Can you hear us, DeMarcus?
I can't hear.
You can't hear. Let's see. Let's see if we can get DeMarcus on there. Let's do this here for you, DeMarcus. We got a little technical difficulties. Paul, you want to talk for a quick second there while I try to get DeMarcus all dialed in here for us?
Yeah, well, DeMarcus Sloan was one of the 4 guys in double digits tonight, scoring a team high 18.
Can you hear
DeMarcus Sloan, can you hear us?
Can you turn it up a little bit?
Yeah, I can hear him.
How about that? Is that better for you?
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Very
yes,
good.
Sir.
Well, we got DeMarcus Sloan here with us tonight on the win of the North Shore Mustangs winning 64-53. DeMarcus, you had 16 points on the night. 4 of 7 from the field, 1 of 5 from the three-point lane, and your money at the free throw line, 5 of 6. Great game here tonight.
Yes, sir.
So any thoughts here on how this game action worked out here tonight for you guys?
It worked out perfect. We just got to rebound more. You know, going into next game, state final, you know, we got to rebound against Atascocita.
Definitely have to rebound against the Atascocita. Your hands were all over the place here tonight in this game. You did a great job just being in the passing lanes. Tell us about what you're seeing out on the court to be able to get in the lanes there for these passing lanes.
You know, I read the point guard eyes, you know. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Read the point guard eyes.
Yeah, you know, DeMarcus, the one impressive thing that's been from your class, and especially sophomores on this is your first playoff experience. This is really new, and obviously it's going to be a little bit kind of nervous, obviously. We saw it in the first half. You let Strake come up with you. But talk about your composure. You have a guy like Christian Gibson. You have guys around you like Dylan Colbert. Just talk about how your mentality is, not looking ahead, just being 1-0 for every game. And I might be the first one to tell you, but you will have a potential rematch with Atascocita in the regional final that's set up on Friday. Just giving your thoughts on that one, but also give your thoughts on how you've liked your team's composure going in this playoff run.
Yes, sir. We practice hard every day. You know, we be prepared for times like this since August.
Yeah.
You know, then Atascocita, you know, we lost to them twice in district. We got to come back playoffs now.
Yeah, and one thing I'll say to you, DeMarcus, I've been in a spot where I've beaten the team twice, and then I play them the 3rd time in playoffs, and I've lost that game. That 3rd game is always the hardest because that game you throw the kitchen sink. Everybody is, you know, Atascocita, and they know you, so it's all going to be about your X's and O's, who's going to hit shots in execution. Excited to see that game coming up.
Yes, sir.
Very good. DeMarcus, great game tonight. We look forward to seeing you this coming week against Atascocita.
All right, thanks.
DeMarcus Sloan, our post-game show guest here on the Legacy Sports Network as well. Coach Woods is standing right here by us as well. Coach Woods is on his way to the locker room, and we are going to take a quick break here on the Legacy Sports Network. More on the post-game show right after this.
Real cheese, real hot, real taste is what we've got. Real fresh, real fast. All those other pizzas are a thing of the past. Mr. Gatti's Pizza in Houston on Uvalde Road offers a wide selection on their daily fast feast, all-you-can-eat pizza, pasta, salad, and dessert buffet. Don't forget about the entertainment center for the kids. Games, games, and games. Open for lunch or dinner. Gotta get Gatti's. Mr. Gatti's Pizza, the best pizza in town. Honest.
Welcome back here to the postgame show on the Legacy Sports Network, where the final score here tonight was the North Shore Mustangs 64 to the Strake Jesuit Crusaders 53. Paul, thoughts here tonight and what we get to look forward to coming later this week against Atascocita?
Well, it definitely felt very sleepy from the North Shore side to begin the game. It was a back-and-forth affair in the first half, and even through the third quarter, it was a 2.5-quarter game until North Shore was able to extend that lead out. There was an impressive 9-0 run where we're getting accustomed to now. North Shore gets on these spurts where if they're able to get stops, get the rebound, they're able to run the break, and then find open shots and find players cut into the lane for easy points at the rim. That's what they did in the third quarter, and that's really the difference in tonight's game. Strake Jesuit, this is not the last time we're going to hear from him. They're a really impressive young squad. I like Shannon. I like Thomas. They're coming back for another year. You're going to miss TDL, but then we talked about it. The sophomore, high prospect in class of 2028, Emmanuel Nuabuku, 6'8", 190. Add him into the fray, and then they're going to be in a new district next year, Jeff. Into the district with Ridgepoint, Hightower, Bush, Elkins, Clements. I mean, good basketball. Travis, you name it. That's going to be might not be a top-tier basketball that has producing state championship-worthy teams, but that is a gauntlet of a district to go through. And, I mean, to have 4 teams come out of that district is going to be really tough, and you be one of them. But they have all the makings of a team that can still get back to this position. Really impressed with Coach Amorosa and how he runs the squad. But they just fell a little bit short tonight, obviously. It just comes down to levels in the playoffs, Jeff. I mean, you talked about it. It could be a trap game because North Shore is better. There's just levels, even in a third-round matchup where you think the teams could be tight, you could see that there was a difference talent-wise with North Shore, with the guys they have. Even Christian Gibson having an off night. We just talked to DeMarcus Sloan, that young man. His game is still growing, and he still had 16. He's averaging 15 on the year, but he's still a guy that's growing into a player as a senior next year. And then Dylan Colbert, Mayberry getting into double digits as well. This is a game that you just needed to get. You know, you'll take it. I wouldn't disrespect Strake Jesuit and say it was a break because you didn't have to play 7 Lakes in a potential regional semifinal like Atascocita did, but you'll take that. That's just how the luck of the draw went whenever the bracket came out. You take this game because we mentioned it, they had the toughest stretch, in my opinion, besides Jordan, who's in the 6A Division II bracket, who's had to go through district champions, Clear Springs with Madden Hill, #1 guard in the 2028 class in Texas, then a 30-win Pearland Oilers team. You had to go through that just in order to get to this game. So you kind of deserve this game if you're the North Shore Mustangs. You're going to take that, and now you go into a matchup for the 3rd time this season against Atascocita.
I tell you what, I thought we would see this all night long, but North Shore came into play there in the 4th quarter, scoring 28 points, which was what we thought they would do all night long.
Wow.
But Dylan Colbert, 18 points, the leading scorer for the Mustangs. DeMarcus Sloan, Christian Gibson with 16. But I tell you what, the guy that I'm most excited about tonight, Sean Mayberry with 10 points.
Yeah, and he's so big. You mentioned it, Jeff. How are we going to get him involved? And in the Pearland game, you saw that was going to be an emphasis, but he just got into foul trouble. He got up that early shot at the free throw line that went in, his only points in the night, but then quickly fouled out early in the 4th quarter. Getting him into that double-digit feeling as well, because he's been there the whole season. He's averaging 9.7 a game, so he's had games where he's had 15+. You need to get him confident, especially against the front court for Atascocita. I mean, Salinoa, Countryman, and Key, all 6'7+ bigs. It's going to be tough for him to get anything around the rim, so you have to find spots where he's comfortable with in the next game, and you have to have him in a game like this where he had the size advantage. Now they put him in those successful spots, and he's going to feel confident going into that game Friday night.
Well, again, Paul, 18 of 22 from the free throw line. This is where this team is making their money in a game, winning a game, shooting 82% tonight from the free throw line.
Yeah, huge. We talked about it. You got to capitalize, especially in the playoffs at the free throw line. They've done that, and then they were able to hit crucial big-time shots from beyond the arc at the three-point line as well. That was the difference in the game.
Well, join Paul and I, 4th round boys playoff action. The regional finals happening later this week, where the North Shore Mustangs will face the Atascocita Eagles for the 3rd time. You can find that information on the lsnsports.com. Again, the final score, North Shore 64, Strake Jesuit 53. You've been listening to Boys Playoff Basketball on the Legacy Sports Network.
You've been listening to Houston Area High School Basketball on the Legacy Sports Network. Copyright 2026.